Hey y'all, sorry I'm late. I hope y'all still join in. It's been a long day. It is I think 12 degrees in Dallas. Lord help. It's so cold. And then my kitchen sink, I left the water running a little. It still seems like I don't know, it's kind of freezing and I just hope that the pipes and all that don't mess up. Cause if so, what's up, sweetie? You know you don't need no candy. Maybe a little. So tonight, my topic was keep pressing, keep moving forward. Um, yeah, so the scripture that talks about forgetting those things that are behind us and just pressing forward, looking to what's ahead of us. And I know sometimes, like on the journey, we get tired, we get distracted. People always say, like, don't look. Hey, Cap, James, Michelle, thank y'all for joining in on time. I'm sorry I was late. People always say, like, don't look behind you, but don't look anywhere but ahead. Don't look to the left or right. Don't worry about what nobody else is doing because that could be another distraction, like to keep you stagnant. Um, and sometimes it may seem like, oh, you barely moving. Like some things may look like you're getting there by foot, and other people may look like they get into it real fast, like by car. But that's why we cannot look at other people's journey. We have to know that we have our own journey, our own path, and people move at their own pace. Yeah, so never get distracted looking at anybody else. That's a good way to help you to keep pressing, focusing on yourself and your journey alone. And also moving at God's pace, like keep him involved in everything. Even if you have to crawl, even if you feel like you're barely moving, just keep moving. As long as you're moving forward and never go back. Like a lot of times we stay stagnant or we may go back to something that we know is not good for us just because it's convenient or it may be comfortable. You know, never be afraid to do the uncomfortable. That's how we grow. Like if we refuse to keep going, then hey Chivo, then we refuse to grow. Like if we don't go, we won't grow. If you go, you will grow. That's another motto I use. And then I thought about Exodus 14 and 13 when God gave Moses the word for the children of Israel. He told them, do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. So the Egyptians, um, the Egyptians were like we running this thing, period type, But God wanted them to keep pressing forward and to not just stay stuck in the trauma that they were in. So the goal was for God to get the people to know that I'm God, I can do the impossible. Um, and to just keep pressing. And I know some of us may be in a very, very, very hard season, or it may feel that way, but no matter what, you got to keep going. Like, I don't care what it looks like. We have to keep going and know that the Lord will fight for us. Like, He loves us that much. He will fight for us. And He tells us, like, we need only to be still. Not saying be still, don't do nothing, don't use that as an excuse just to be stagnant, but meaning trust Him. Be still, trust Him. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Cena. Thank y'all so much for joining. I know it's late. I had so many distractions going on. I ran my water because it's like 12 degrees in Dallas, and I don't know what happened with the kitchen sink, but the water not coming on. Lord, I hope eventually it does. Hopefully in the morning. Um, but yeah, so with the topic being keep moving forward, I'm just giving examples as to how we can continue to move forward. So like God commanded Moses to just keep pressing and to put his trust completely in him no matter what they saw, like no matter what Pharaoh was saying, no matter what the Egyptian gods were saying. Trust me no matter what it looks like. And then at some point, I think in Exodus 14 and 15, God asked Moses, why are you crying out to me like still? Why are you still crying out to me about the same thing, you know? And God said, tell the Israelites to move on. You know, and that spoke volumes to me. Like sometimes we can just stay stuck in what we're going through, and we can get in a habit of murmuring and complaining, you know, and sometimes we may not even realize it, but God is right there, like wanting us to press forward, keep moving, do not stay there, don't stay stuck, don't get stuck in it, no matter what it is. Yes, seen the 12 degrees. And you know, us Texas folks not used to this. Um, and then in Exodus 14 and 16, God gave instruction for Moses to raise his staff and part the Red Sea so that the Israelites can press through and move forward. Sometimes um, we do get stuck in our murmuring and complaining, depending on the situation. Like some situations are so heavy. Hey, Lynette, they can be so heavy, you know, and cause us to be burdened really, really, really. So that's why we have to stay in constant connection. Of course, I preach that with God. Um, and basically, he moved forward, you know. Moses had to do what God commanded him to do, no matter how uncomfortable it was, no matter how uncomfortable it was, because sometimes things can be so uncomfortable and we stay there because we're afraid, you know? Well, I'm going to just go back to this. Well, I'm going to just stay in this situation because it's familiar. I'm used to it, you know? I've been guilty. I think we all have, but the unfamiliar sometimes brings about the greatest blessings. That's what I'm learning. Like that's what faith is. Believing no matter what. I don't know how you're gonna do it, God, but I know you're gonna do it. I'm gonna continue to move forward no matter what life brings, no matter what it looks like. I'm gonna speak life into myself. I'm gonna keep going, you know? Hey James, hey Minnie. So yeah, you know, that's what I thought about. I thought about Moses when I um was bringing the word tonight or whatever the inspiration that God gave me. And I know a lot of times we're like, I don't know what's gonna happen or I'm afraid. We still gotta move on. You know, and some of us sometimes we be like, God, if you love me, how could you allow me to go through this? Like, you're supposed to be right there. How can you expect me to move forward as bad as this situation is? How can you expect me to trust you with all that I'm going through, you know? And God understands every condition no matter what. And that's what I'm learning. Like with my life, God, you got me. You don't make any mistakes. Like you're fully aware of the things that may be going on in my life. And another scripture, I think it's in Psalms. Know ye that the Lord, He is God. It is He that hath made us and not we ourselves. So anytime I get caught like in my feelings or not understanding something, like God made me, he knows more about me than I do myself. So that's what keeps me like pressing forward, leaning and depending on him. And I just want everybody to, you know, continue to be encouraged. One moment we may feel, oh, you know, things are going great, I'm Gucci, this all good. Then other times, you know, it seems like when we things going good, so then that's when they kind of get bad, you know, and the enemy want to make fun of us. Like, you said you trusted him. You said you was gonna keep moving forward. Now look at you trying to get us to give up. We're not gonna do it. Yep, testing our faith. That's true. Hey, in his service. Yes, but definitely it's a test of faith, and that's the enemy's big thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna get them to give up. I'm gonna get them to be stuck. No, that's why I try to encourage myself in the word. Like, I have to keep pressing forward. I have to remember that this is a faith walk. It's not based on how I feel. I can't my belief system is not based on emotion. Like, I think I said that last night in Caps Live when one of the girls was speaking. Like, I would have left this thing a long time ago. It's not based on how I feel at the moment. Like, I have to keep pressing forward. I have to keep my faith in the Lord no matter what things look like. Like, we gonna keep believing. We're gonna keep pressing. You know, we can't base this thing off of emotion. Oh, I'm not feeling it today. Oh, I don't feel good today. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, I went through this breakup. I lost this person. God let me down. I'm finna just give up on God. And that's sometimes, I think we've all may have felt that way, but we can't stay stuck in there. That's why I wanted to touch on keep pressing forward, even if you have to take baby steps. I don't care. Keep moving forward. Do not get stuck in that. And it's okay to take time out to grieve or be sad. We're human, of course. But my goal is to see people still press forward. I have seen so many people that I know personally go through something so tragic and they stay there. And then I see them 2 or 3 years later and their life is worse and they've given up on their faith. I don't want that for anybody. And if I have to be a voice, I will definitely do that. Like, the little knowledge that I have, I pray and I believe that I will grow greater in my knowledge in God as I continue to genuinely seek Him and yield to Him. Like, really, like, okay, I want to do this, Lord, but keep me strong in this area so I can really be genuine in what I do. And that girl that was speaking on Caps Live last night, she made me think. She was like, yeah, a lot of people don't believe because, y'all be walking around doing what y'all want. And she was right. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember Chipo saying, I just don't want to bring shame to God. That made me think too. So that's another reason why I'm trying to continue to yield to God and not give in to temptation. Yes, it is. You're right in his service. But yeah, I just wanted to come and bring that. I'm not gonna stay on long tonight. If y'all want to come up and say something, you're more than welcome. But I love y'all so much, and I want y'all to continue to be encouraged. And thank y'all so much for coming in. I'm sorry that I ain't been on time. I almost not did the live, but I said, you know what? I made a commitment that I was gonna do this. Not for views, not for likes, but just from my heart. Happy. Okay, Chipo, I will. I love you too, Cena. Love you too, Lynette. My bad. I don't know what happened with my sound. I love all of y'all. Cena, Cap, Chipo, mine, James, Crazy Tail Self. Um, Yeah, but like I said, I'm not doing this for views. It's great if the views come. Of course, I want my platform to continue to grow, but I'm doing this from the bottom of my heart and just out of obedience to God. I want all of us to continue to be encouraged because journey can be very emotional. We're emotional beings. We're humans. A lot of us pride ourselves on not showing it, but we have those moments. So and our feelings change, just like that. So my goal is to just be consistent in what God is telling me to do. Um, I just want to help. everybody where I can. Hey y'all.
Hey, what's up, Mo?
Happy Friday now.
Yeah,
What
Friday.
y'all doing?
Being cool. That's what I do.
Hold on, I can't hear y'all.
Oh, seriously?
Let me work on my sound.
I just
Uh,
I just started hearing you just like a few seconds ago.
how does it do this? Hold on. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
It's just so low. I don't know why it's low like that. Okay, I think I got it now. Thank y'all so much. What y'all doing this time of morning, night?
being cool.
I know that's right. So, how was your day? You have a good day?
Uh, mm, I don't know. It was just an average day, I guess.
That's honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't know when you joined, but I was just talking about continuing to press forward, and I went to the scriptures in Exodus 14, how God was encouraging Moses and the children of Israel to just get out of that trauma and that season that they were in,
yeah,
and he came to a place where he was like, "Why are you still complaining to me about the same thing? Move on." You know? And
yeah.
sometimes, as hard as it sounds, we have to do just that. If I'm honest, we have to encourage ourselves at times, and just keep pressing forward. Like the goal is to just not stay stuck in this life, no matter what it brings. Hey, Chloe. Hey, in his service.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I set my notification. I was determined to make it on Thursday. I know this
Yay.
gentleman down here. I can't read his name. I talked to
Huh?
him before. What is the name below me? I know him. I've talked to him before.
CJ.
CJ,
Yeah, he
That's
be in
CJ
Tennessee
Mac,
Live.
C
CJ Mac.
yeah, that's C Mac. How you feeling, C Mac?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Oh man, shoot. I went down. I've been in the bed for 5 days. I'm so tired of being sick.
Oh
Sick is
my
tired.
goodness. What kind of sick?
Mhm.
What kind? What is the bug that's going around, or are you something
No,
else?
I don't have that. I made the mistake. It's like
Well,
zero.
please, don't share, man. If if it's gonna bother
Oh,
you
I'm
too.
fine. I washed my hair and it sat by a cold wall called a head cold. So I've been,
Yeah.
You washed
I've
your
been,
hair while it was real cold?
well, my husband did, and it wasn't his fault. It was just that, the timing and stuff. We have some things going on here, but we jump hurdles. We don't worry about it. I just wait it out, pray on it, and I know that God will deliver. My faith
Amen.
is
You're
in God.
right.
Amen.
So, I don't really hold any of that in content. I'm ordained here from Chicago at Christ Universal Church. I'm a GF3 faith leader, which means
Okay.
God's faith, God's future, God's foundation. So, in being ordained, which was 2016, we are not allowed to lose faith.
I
Faith
love
will
it.
stagnate, it'll go up and down, but you have to be able to catch yourself. And then we have what they call reaffirmation of the faith to
Mhm.
stay in the upper house. So we stay in the upper house as far as that's concerned. No, we're not perfect, but we aim each day. I get up thanking God for giving me another day, and I ask God to help me to step out in the right way with right intent.
Yes.
I put the responsibility more so on myself.
Mhm.
Um, we are members of the United Foundation for Better Living, which means that we aim to lift people, inspire them, and help people through letting them know that there is a better life. And this is a lot of work. It's not easy.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah, it went for me. It's not just from the church. I've gone worldwide and I deal with people on Quora.com. Uh,
Mhm.
that I have a ministry of about 50 followers, and I really don't want any more because I get questions like 20 something questions a day. But
Yeah.
you don't turn your once you commit to doing this, you stay on it and you're doing it. You're being it's like being a vessel for God. You know,
Yes.
all of us are vessels, and
Right.
you channel it in a way that you can do this work and you continue to do this work and know that your life is given to God. I mean, I just had that earlier today, and somebody told me I was going to live forever. I can't stand it when people say that because the reality is that's not true. Um,
Yeah, this body won't. Definitely not.
right, the soul outgrows the body. It doesn't need the
Yes.
body anymore. When it goes to I call it the stratosphere, to the upper house. It's like
Mm-hmm.
stratosphere heaven. It's a step before you get to heaven, and
Oh,
you
it's
know
called
you
paradise.
right. Well, whatever its name is, that's the same thing as we argue. Whatever it can, it's no one word for. Some people call him Yahweh. Some people call it that. I call it spirit. So
Mm-hmm.
I can only go with the 25 years. I've been in this since I was 6. So I can only go with the teachings that I have had that teaches me the symbolism of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is for us to direct and know to look up by whatever
Yes.
name he is. And especially now in these times, because these are very turbulent. We are in tribulation. It's all in our face. It's in our
Sink or
face.
swim. Yep.
Yeah. So there's only one question for me. Is my soul prepared no matter what happens to meet my maker,
Oh,
to be
do you hear
judged?
me?
But your job ain't done after that. After that, after you make sure that you cool, then now it's service to everybody else to try to make sure that they cool, to be willing to accept that Christ died and raised on the third day. You know what I'm saying, for our sins. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's all of that. I'm so tired of looking at this television with one day out of 365 days where these folks want to act like they are saintlyhood. You know, they got the good spirit. All right, I can't
Well,
stand that. That ain't a
I,
reality.
but I
All right,
know it ain't my job. I
let
know
me
it's not
finish.
my job to point my fingers at them and
I'm not pointing my
say
fingers. I'm
and
talking
say,
about
well,
Jesus
no,
is the
I'm saying
reason.
me. I'm saying me. I ain't saying nobody else.
Okay, I'm
Anytime
just
that
saying. I was just trying to
anytime that
finish
I
it.
talk, anytime that I talk, I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about nobody else. I ain't trying to include nobody else or make nobody else feel a certain kind of way. I'm talking about me. Anytime I, do that, I'm implementing myself and not someone else. But like, you know, uh, our service is never done. Our service ain't gonna be done until we close our eyes. You know what I'm saying? Permanently.
Well,
Uh,
that's why I'm in his service. I'm just saying Jesus is the reason for the season. I
yeah.
see it past that. I don't put up a tree. I don't do none of that stuff. I get on my
Mm-hmm.
knees and pray Christmas Eve because I
Amen.
am waiting for the king to be born. That is my symbolism. That is how I
Mm-hmm.
act it out. So it is a service. That's why I'm in his service. This is what we do. I'm just saying it's been ingrained in me so long, it kind of goes on automatic dial. I just got off another YouTube channel praying for somebody else because they had some smoking between two people and they were arguing. This is not the time for that.
Right.
It's not the time for that. And it's unnecessary.
I
Drop kicking
mean,
each other is not the answer.
yeah, but that's the way that it is, and it's our job to just try to help. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
That's
my job.
what I
It
do.
ain't my job to try to settle it or to make everybody. It's just to try to help. You
It
know what I'm
doesn't go
saying?
like that. What I did was ask her permission if I could pray for her. She was going through something that made her cry live on YouTube. I
Once
asked her
again,
permission.
once again, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about myself. Anytime that
Okay.
I'm speaking on myself. I'm not speaking on the things that you doing or whatever. I applaud the things that you do, and you know what I'm saying, continue to be in this service and do what you do. I'm not talking about what you do because that's your personal thing. That's what you're working with, and that's your personal thing. Because
But
we all got a personal.
aren't we interconnected of each other to extend a hand? There is no segregation of me and you. If I'm aiming to go to the same place, I'll see you where I'm going. There's no that's not what God
Oh,
intended.
oh,
He intended us to extend our hand, meaning that if you and I are together, no matter what, and we're out here, if you were here in Chicago with me and something happened to you, I'm in it with you. I don't turn my back.
well, I mean, where did that conversation come from? Turning the
Because
back.
I'm telling you that we're an extension of each other. Creation tells us that.
I mean, I'm trying to connect the conversation. So where did that?
I'm connecting the conversation by saying to you, when you just said, you're not talking about me, you're talking about you. And I'm saying that
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
is
because
isolated.
yeah, only because I can't say what about what you doing and the things that you do. That's all. Not that we're separate because we in the struggle together to do things together. If you saying that that you are a woman in Christ, so uh, so yeah, where I'm saying that I'm talking about me. Only thing I'm saying is that I'm talking about me because I don't talk about nobody else as far as like uh you know I don't know how to say it.
You mean like as far as maybe judging?
Critiquing other people's work and stuff like that. I
No,
don't
but
do that.
that's not what I
That's
was
not.
saying. I'm saying that it's bigger than that. I'm not a woman in Christ. I'm a human being looking up and asking God, is it good enough for you, God? Have I done my work for you? And I
Well,
still don't
I'm a
even know
man
that.
in Christ.
I
I'm a
just
man
try
in
to do the
Christ.
godlike expression. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm a
So,
man in Christ. I'm a man in Christ. I'm not a child in
okay.
Christ. I'm not a little kid in Christ. I'm a man in Christ. And whereas I may not live totally the way that I'm supposed to, I meditate on him daily. And
I think I'm the same way, you know. I know I make mistakes. I love in his service, I love her perspective on God. I love yours, you know. I always say I feel like God can show himself to us in so many forms, and that's the beauty of God. He's so big, he's not in a box, you know.
that's right.
That's
But
true. That's
yeah,
absolutely true. When you take it wider, you end up being more sensitive to the things that you see and how this world has, it wasn't intended to be like this. You see
right.
into it. You have this high insight. You don't know why. You just know that you have it. And it's kind of like a blessing bestowed for you to see into it. And when you see into it, you you allow yourself to do his work. I mean, it just takes all that. I can't say what this is. There's no right or wrong of it. But if everybody that turns to the faith, that turns to Christ, Christ has bestowed that on you. It's
Mhm.
within you.
There's no
It's
right or
within your
wrong in
soul.
what
I'm s-
you
I'm not
said.
gonna
There's no
I'm
right or
not gonna go
wrong.
down that lane because what I'm trying to say is that it's Christ bestowed.
I
It's
just was
Christ
trying to
bestowed.
understand what you were saying. That's all.
Okay, it's Christ bestowed. It's a blessing that God gives you to have high insight. It's in the Bible where he foretold many people to do this. He foretold Noah to build an ark. I'm
Mhm.
just saying that these things are things that Christ continues to do this work. I don't believe um, there is evil, but I know truth will prevail. It has to, because if it doesn't, all of us that follow the way are wrong.
Can
He
I ask
said
you something?
he
How
said
do
that.
you
God said that.
how can
I'm
you
not saying
say
I'm not going into the particulars. I'm just telling you that biblically it's in there. I'm just telling you that how I process it. I'm not trying to debate a point here.
okay, but can I ask you something? I just want to understand why you say that you don't think that there's any evil. I'm just trying to understand. I'm not trying to debate.
No, I didn't
Same
say
thing
that.
I was
I
trying to
said I
do.
said evil exists as well as truth. I said,
Mhm.
but the fact is that truth will always win. It has to overcome because those of us that follow the way, it does overcome. I didn't say I don't believe in evil. Oh, it's all around
Oh,
us. There's
okay.
no way. There's
Because
no
you
way I
did
say
say
it.
it, you just didn't mean that.
I didn't say it. I didn't. I affirm.
We
I
Y'all
heard it.
affirm in
calm,
Jesus that
y'all
I
We
didn't
heard
calm
it.
say it.
down.
We
I
heard it,
affirm
but
in
I ain't
Jesus
trying to
that I
Structure.
argue
didn't
with
say it.
you. I'm
Okay?
Hold
not trying to
on.
Don't
argue.
put words in my mouth. I ain't say it.
I ain't trying to argue.
Okay,
I ain't
well,
trying
I'm
to
telling you
argue with
right
you.
now, an affirmation to God Jesus, I didn't say that.
All right.
Now all
Hey,
I got left is my mind, and it's sharp as a tack.
two people.
Okay?
Two
So
people.
I didn't say that. I say it again. And the other thing is, I got 20 years that I've had to listen to people in the city of Chicago. I work for the people here as far as dealing with police corruption. I work for the people. So I know what I said. I got to dot my I's and dot my T's. I can't get it wrong. There is evil. How did I work for law enforcement? Didn't know evil exists. Come on
I
now.
don't know, ma'am. We was
Okay.
listening, and that's
Yeah,
why
well,
she
you must
said
have
what
heard
she said.
something different. You
That's
must have
why
heard
Mo.
something different.
That's why Mo Love said that, and then I said that, and then that was two people
Well,
that heard that.
two people
So
can
Mhm.
collaborate and still be wrong. Because
I'm just saying.
because
I'm just saying that.
what I have done in life proves the fact that I didn't say evil doesn't exist. When
I
we
know
go
we all
911,
make
baby.
mistakes.
When
We
we
all
go
make
911,
mistakes.
I ain't made no mistake. I'm retired from the Chicago Police Department. What you talking about?
If you was retired from
I'm telling you that evil
the
exists on the police
the
department. That would be
Congress,
absurdly stupid to say that.
it
Uh,
didn't change the
okay.
fact we just heard what we heard, and you probably
Okay,
didn't mean
well,
to say
all
that.
right. So you know what? Once I said I didn't say it, and I know I didn't say it, you're bad, not mine.
Okay, I hear you. That's
Okay.
yeah,
So
that's two
I'm
people.
gonna go down here because Mo, I stopped by, before you left. I was trying to catch you, and my phone blinked. So I'm gonna go down here and let you all have this conversation, have this chat, because I've had a couple of panels tonight already. And I just wanted you to know I found you, I caught you. I'm glad I caught you. Keep doing the work because you're on the right track.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I
You
really
got a
do.
platform, that has the right content, and the follows will just come. They're gonna come because they're
Right.
looking for something. And if you
Mhm.
compare that to everything else, I'm sure you surf the YouTube, they blasting each other out. I don't get the drop kicking each other and calling each other names and all that. That is so uncool to me.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
like I said me, I know like the type of person I am. I can be a bit on the sensitive side. So I don't even go there. Like I know I'm not the type to scowl on people because I don't want people doing it to me. You get what I'm saying? Some people good at that and it can be entertaining, but for me, I know like my avenue and it's just encouragement.
it's to me that's something that I never did understand why people it's something went bad when a greeting becomes hey itch, hey ho. I would never say hello to a person like that.
Mhm.
That's my greatest thought. Respect comes first, and
I
then
agree.
you follow with a dialogue. So what evolved from all this is creating a climate where this is just beyond anything. And I even said, what is this? Is this Christmas holiday where everybody's scoring on each other and drop kicking each other for what? Content and views? This crazy. It's crazy.
Mhm.
And I mean, I actually had to be on a panel where this girl was sensitive and she
Mhm.
cried because they were doxing her.
Oh my
And,
gosh. I heard about stuff like that. People getting doxxed. Oh we. It's
right. And
really strong on YouTube and I think Bigo.
yes. And I'm like, why is this? We're at 3 days or 2 days from Christmas. This shouldn't even be on a platform. Where's your head at?
Mhm.
Because doxing in somebody's house and saying how they live and how they are and putting them down ain't the answer.
Right.
It's never gonna work. Now I don't know if they're doing it for monetization, if they're doing it to get more subs or whatever, but surely the mind could be more creative than doxing each other. That's just nuts.
Right.
Because we all in this.
Yes,
And it's
ma'am.
uncertain times. We don't know where it's gonna go. So, the cooler you stay, the better, the
Yep.
better. So you can see into it. If you can't stay cool within your mind, then you're gonna be distracted as to what it all means anyway. So
Right.
I just came up to give you a shout out. I'm glad it took a little bit to look for your page. There's another Mo person.
I know. I see a few.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a few and I just kept tapping around. I promised you that I would be here Thursday. I promised you that I would subscribe and follow. And I do follow. I follow the content that makes sense. I will tell you all this. You can't be on pages where they be blasting each other out and all that because it's unhealthy.
I
It's
I
just,
agree.
it's too, it gets a little too psychotic. You even say, "Oh, my ear," what you're hearing and the words you're hearing. Are they godlike in expression? No,
Right. I
I
I
can't.
had one incident. It got pretty bad maybe a month ago, and I said, "Oh, I don't want to go through this again." And that was light compared to some of the stuff I see on YouTube. You know.
Really. And what's with the GD word? I can't. I cringe when I hear somebody put that word. I mean, I don't mind somebody cursing, but don't put God in front of it.
Mm,
That's messed up to me. That's
yeah.
blasphemy. And if you read up the definition and research the word, you'll find that it does mean blasphemy. I would never blast my own self.
Right.
That's messed up. So
Yeah.
we're prepared here. There's no tree, there's no gifts. I have a nativity scene, and I know that Christmas means that I'm reborn within myself with Christ. And that's when I am waiting for my rebirth. I will be up at midnight and I will be on my knees. I have my own prayer room here
I love that.
because I couldn't get to church because of my health. So when I
Mhm.
couldn't get to church because of my health, I created my own altar. And the church still sends me stuff, but I can't get there because of my mobility issues. So I brought church home. There's not a room that Jesus
That's
or
where
some
it started
symbolism,
anyway. Yeah.
right? There's not a room where some symbolism doesn't exist. But these are the things I need around me to keep me in comfort and peace. So
Absolutely.
it does go back to what you said. See, in this particular case, yes, this is what I do to keep me in perfect peace, to get as close to it as I can. And sometimes you just can't.
Yes. Cause
Sometimes something.
I almost had a moment earlier where I was like, "Oh, I can't do it." I was like, "Nope, I'm not even gonna give into that." Cause just that little moment right there, you can get stuck in that. I was like, nope, I know what I was gonna talk about tonight. I gotta keep moving forward. I really have to practice what I preach, you know?
Right. And the better of it is this. We don't have anything against Kennedy, and I'm not talking about Kennedy. I'm asking for prayer for Kennedy because Kennedy doesn't see. It's like he's kind of giving up, but he shouldn't. He's got to
Right.
keep going. It's just like what you said. You got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
we pray for Kennedy. That's what I do. I pray for Kennedy because where he's at, I've already been. And I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
I had to change me. It's a constant work on trying to get closer to God.
That's key right there. The word's constant. It don't stop.
No,
It don't
no.
stop.
And there's a point where it goes just on, you get so deep into it, it goes on automatic dial. It's always something that the extent of a hand for my neighbor or whatever.
Right.
I can tell you stories of things that we've gone through that, we did the work, but at the time I'm doing it, I was just doing the work. I didn't see into this until later in life that I had been
Mm-hmm.
doing the work all along. I'm not guiding myself, God is guiding me.
Right.
And that's where I'm at with it. It is a choice, a choice.
Absolutely.
And I will say this. I'm going to give you a good one. See, I met this minister. His name was Ramsey. And he told me, and my house is a picture that says, relax, God is in control. And I asked him one question that in doing all this, and sometimes we feel overladen in doing this type of ministry, did he get tired? And
Mm.
he told me that I would never get tired. He said I would continue to stay tired until I held a title. I said, wait a minute. Now I thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, I said, okay, Reverend, you and I both believe that Jesus Christ walked this earth. He said, yes. I said, so when did he go to Moody Bible Institute to be Reverend Dr. Jesus Christ? He never did.
Mm.
So the fact is that God exists within you, and each of you put forth, when it's right intent, the work to do. There is no
Mm-hmm.
title you have to hold to be a soldier for Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Absolutely. You're right.
yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, these reverends around here thinking because they're Reverend Doctor so and so and so and so, they're gonna be, no, the titles don't mean nothing when we go to
Nothing
the
at all.
hereafter. They're just tags.
Mm-hmm.
So to tell somebody else of the faith, I'm asking him, did he get exhausted in it? Because I got overwhelmed. I mean, I was everywhere. I was on Quora. I was here helping my neighbors. I was working through the church. I was doing this, tell my mobility. I just collapsed. And
Yeah.
this man telling me I don't have the title to be entitled to God. That was nuts.
There was. Baby, he
So,
better watch himself.
yeah, that was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at him like, okay, but I definitely didn't back down from him. I told him Jesus did not have a title. He did not graduate from an institute to speak the word of God.
Hello.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a twist, but how's you all's weather? Because we got an Arctic blast here.
Oh, look. When I tell you it's 12 degrees in Dallas. Okay, so my
What?
water in the kitchen is not coming on. It's
Did you
done
leave?
froze. So I hope don't know I don't have any issues with pipes or anything like that.
Yeah, they said to let your pipes drip. You know, I guess I'm gonna turn mine on because we -6 degrees here. What's your
What?
weather, Steve? Yeah, we in an Arctic blast.
We are too for
I
Dallas.
don't know what the degrees is, but it's extremely cold.
Where are
Yeah,
you, CJ?
I'm in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
okay. He's close to me because I'm in Illinois, but they had said that this is the most unprecedented uh, winter that we're gonna have. That this is an Arctic blast, and I was like, okay, well, we've been through winters before, but I've never seen anything like this one. But God is
Yeah.
definitely at work. I tried to mention when we were talking about Florida. I hate to see what happened when they had that hurricane, but
Hmm.
God is in control of all of it. Make no mistake. He's
Right.
doing it for us to see, to see.
Absolutely.
No man will ever conquer space. I don't care how many rockets you send up there. I don't care if you try to live up there. You just can't. It's
You
too deep.
can't.
And no man will ever conquer the core of this earth. You can't get there. You'll be
Hmm.
squeezed to death. So I don't get why we're spending billions of dollars. And, I understand Ukraine. We done spent almost we're getting ready to go to $1 trillion for a war that this other crazy person done started.
That's a
This is
shame.
destruction. Yeah, it's very shameful.
Hmm.
Leave people in the cold to freeze to death. It's not humane. That's a fact.
Right.
It's not humane. So, all we can do is pray and pray for the world because it's hurting. And I really believe that it's hurting.
Absolutely.
Those of us that know the power of God must pray for God to do his work and heal it. And
Hmm.
hopefully he'll turn it around. And those that are blanketed under him, it's just like when they had the Egyptians and Hebrews, those that blanket under his word, he will save them. And those that are not, oh well,
Mm-hmm.
oh well. It's an individual choice and it's an everyday. It's just what you said. It goes on automatic dial. It's an everyday choice.
It is.
It's work. And
Oh, it's work.
it's harder than us cleaning our house or dusting or whatever we do. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's work. It's keeping the mind and the heart intact to do the work. Have you ever heard of have you ever read Mark Furman's?
I have not.
Okay, it's on YouTube. Look up Mark Furman. And
Okay.
the first thing he says is go placidly among this earth. Avoid vexations that are to your spirit, because
Mm-hmm.
these things will cause the destruction of the spirit, which is what? The soul.
Right.
But it's deep. I have it here. Um, but it's long, but
Mm-hmm.
they're words that strike the chord of knowing why we exist. I think the hardest question to answer in life is who am I and why am I here? And when you know what you've been assigned to do or what has been bestowed by God, it's a wonderful thing because you just
Right.
go about doing it. You just go
Purpose.
about you just go about doing it.
Yep.
So I wish you all I always say Merry Christmas of Christ is reborn. We deal in metaphysical thinking, so we look at the word to say what does it symbolically mean. It
Mm-hmm.
means that I wish for you all, for your waiting for to be reborn within the Christ in you. All of you all are ministers. No matter what road you walk, all you
Right.
got to do is talk the talk.
Yep.
Who says you can't be? Is
That's
there
true.
a piece of paper dictates whether you're a minister or not? That's messed up.
Yep. Some of the best ministers don't, didn't go to school. It's just a
Exactly.
God-given gift.
And the one walking around here that's saying you know, I look at these things and I just okay, they leave me with a big question mark. The one that's walking around and the church gives him a Mercedes Benz and nice suits and all this other stuff and come down and pay homage to him. And then it's the church itself is not paying homage to the community to feed. Well,
Mm,
that leaves me in a question mark
of course.
because are they doing the work? I
And I
don't think
think that's why a lot of people have dismissed the church, you know, things like that.
didn't Kirk Franklin say it first? He sat there and said it in song. That is not in there. You
Right.
know, uh, it's it's about it's a collective effort, concentrating and praying. In other words, that goes through where two or more are gathered. So am I with thee.
Yep.
Where two or more, because all you need is two.
That's it.
Yep. So you keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad that you're doing this because it's better to go to a site that renders peace, peace,
Yes.
than to go to a
Definitely.
site that's totally people calling each other names for the sake of monetization, for the sake of getting a check through YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Was the intent to start the channel to get paid, or was the intent to start a platform so you can put the word out there so others possibly that you can affect others to what? Follow the word.
Right.
That's where that goes down. But I wish you all great health. I wish you all your rebirth. I'm gonna sit here and have mine. My husband has got he's got an issue that we got to deal with in January. My daughter had surgery today, and I had to get through all that in prayer and perfect peace that she would come out okay. And she's my only daughter. I only have one time to do this right, and I'm
Yes.
gonna stay focused.
Well, I'm praying that she's well, all is
Yep,
well,
yep, yep.
Yeah, I'm praying for her too because she has 5 kids. I have 5 grandsons. So
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
know God is not finished with her yet. She's only 35 and she's
Oh
got healing.
yeah.
Yeah, she's got multiples. How she gets through, it is
Mhm.
by God. But I never worried about her being able to get through. What I did worry about is that she followed the word of God. I always drove the point home that she couldn't get through without God. So I told her,
Right.
don't even depend on even me.
Mhm.
Look up and look to God because that's
Yes.
where she came from. I was just the vessel to have her. I think
Absolutely.
I think it's high insight. You see into it and you
Yep.
can't dismiss it because it's going to show itself again and again. And how do you look away? It's just
Mm.
not it's not something you can readily do when you choose to follow God. You know,
I
God
agree.
is all there is for me. There is nothing else. And under that comes everybody, you, me, all of us.
Right.
But I look to him. You all stay warm, stay safe. See, see,
Yes, yes.
keep keep up your flow. I know where you're coming from. And it does come to a one thing. I will agree with you on that point. It seems like the higher you go, the greater the concentration is on the one. It's like you're being moved by God.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's being moved to he's evolving to a higher plateau. So it is something that you're going through it. When you try to answer the questions, the only person that can answer what did it all mean is God.
Right.
We can't answer it. So
And it
you
was
can
good.
I'm
What's up,
gonna
Will?
I'm gonna come
What's
off
up?
of this panel. God bless you all. And I'm gonna go back down in the chat, okay?
God
Okay,
Who's
bless
thank
doing
you
it?
you.
so much. God bless you
Who's that?
too.
Who's
Oh, it was
that?
Willie.
That's
From last
Will.
time I was up here.
Hey Willie, how you doing?
And then I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Just came up here to say what's up to y'all. See y'all again. That was it. Happy holidays. Listen to everybody.
Ooh.
We don't even have a meal here, but we don't care. We'll put something together. But
Right.
we will pray. We will pray. There's not a gift. There's no tree. I don't do that. There's no lights outside. None of
Mhm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I grew past that when I had kids, and my grandkids don't live here, but I don't have to have all that anymore. I just shedded it all. And I was
Mhm.
told I was accused of not being in the holiday spirit. Well, I am in the spirit. I just don't have to have all that. I have a nativity scene that I keep up 24/7 all year round to remind me
Right.
from whence I came. That's it. I don't feel like I have to have all that. It's not for
No,
me.
agreed, agreed. That's to each his own. So I definitely respect that. I just say that just to be respectful to everybody, whoever may be in the chat and listening. I invited like a few people. They may or may not be listening, but I just that was part of the reason I come up. I came up here just to if anybody was out there listening, just to show them that Mo is cool people. I talked to her before. She's very incisive, intuitive, very focused. And, if anybody wants to hit the link or, anything like that, you're more than welcome. I'm pretty sure she'll be very grateful and welcoming and, very good hospitality. That's all.
Right.
Thank
And not
you. I
only that, if
appreciate
there's
it.
anybody out there having a hard time during this season, feel free to come up in the stream yard and let's see. Let Mo, let us help
That's
you.
why,
You can
yeah, that's
see.
why I come on. Like, if anybody just needs to talk or vent or needs some encouragement, that's my goal. Keep the
No
people
Agree.
doubt.
encouraged, to keep the people moving forward. I don't want to see nobody give up, no
And
matter what.
her goal is golden. This is a beautiful girl that her spirit shows through. It's very obvious. It's not, she doesn't ride on how she looks. She rides on how she feels.
Absolutely, because looks don't mean nothing.
They
That's the
fade.
only part. Yes, they fade.
They
Definitely.
fade.
What does your heart
Salute,
say?
Lynette. Salute, James. Salute, y'all.
So again, I wish you all a wonderful rebirth in Christ because that's what I'm waiting for. And I'm just going to stay in my devoutness One of the things is that it's kind of like Lent for me. I give up
Mhm.
something so I won't be on YouTube channels or on platforms. I talk on 6 different platforms, and all that falls by wayside because I want to stay focused. I don't want
Yes.
to talk about somebody else's business or somebody else's drama. It's nuts. Get
Mhm.
back to Christ. Follow the Christ, and you'll find in Christ there is no drama.
Okay, in his service will preach to us.
There's no drama. The peace of the soul. The hardest thing to have is peace. You can't buy peace at
Oh,
Walgreens.
do you hear
Okay?
me?
Peace. And that's when people say, peace be still. That's what they mean
I'm
by it.
telling you, I there was a professional football player. He would vent to me all the time. I'm talking about 40, $50 million football player. And he was so unhappy. I'm like, what you got? You have every what? I'm telling you, peace is something that money cannot buy. You know, peace is everything, baby.
And
No,
when
for
you
real, for
get
real.
it, it becomes euphoric. So you want it again. To hold on
Mhm.
to it in a constant is challenging.
Yes.
But you hold your guns once you got it. And it's like you still trying to attain that peace, even if you see everything else is around you. And that's why we go to Lord have mercy. Because see, that's not how your soul feels. Your soul
Yes.
feels like you want, hey, let me get back to my peace. Don't disturb the
Mhm.
peace. And it can't be bought
I
at all.
pride myself on well, I just really appreciate my peace, I guess I should say. I have fought so hard for it my whole life. So now it's like, okay, I got to keep this thing up. I have to do whatever it takes to keep it up. And I know that keeping God first and seeking Him is what keeps it. You know,
That's
that's key
exactly
for
what it
me.
is. That's exactly what it is. Because
Mhm.
it's you evolve to this point. That is not automatic doubt. You start out, we all started out with something that we have distension, or we were in the mud, or we were this and that and the other. And then
Mhm.
God comes along and says, I'm going to change you. He says, feed my sheep. And then he commissions you to do a job to move
Mhm.
forward as you continue to evolve forward.
Absolutely.
And it's not something you can turn your back on because I'm going to tell you, I didn't even fear COVID. When everybody was talking when COVID first started, I didn't fear COVID. I fear God
Yes.
because I know that COVID can solve itself by God. But I believe that
Absolutely.
COVID was a man-made virus that man put out here to
I do
create
too.
a form of genocide.
Mhm.
Okay, all of a sudden we got something that went all around the world and killed all these people, and we're still. And after that, now we're being squeezed out with our gas. We're being squeezed out with our food, this and that and the other. I mean, they knew about all this, but those that will follow the word will survive all of this, and those that are greedy, grabbing at straws, I'm sorry, in my opinion, they won't.
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Lynette. What's up?
Salute.
Mm,
Hey
say that
everybody.
again.
Hey, y'all be cool, man. I'm gonna get on out of here and go to
You getting
bed.
off? You didn't even say
C-
nothing, barely.
CJ,
I listen
before
first.
you leave, CJ,
I
before you
listen
leave,
first.
yeah, can I say something to you?
Sure.
I feel your energy, and I feel like it's low. I
No, it's
have
not.
been on
It's
the
not.
panel with you, and I don't, heard you speaking, um, and
It's not
things like
low.
that.
It's not
No,
low. No, ma'am.
no.
I
Are
would
you
say he's
okay?
he's
Are you okay?
I'm gonna tell you, that I'll say this right here that yeah, I'm going through something, but uh it's and it takes its toll on my body,
mhm,
but it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't affect my mind and my heart
mhm.
and my spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's
yeah.
a
And as
blessing.
far as me not talking, I listen first because I
Mhm.
need
Yeah.
to. you gotta hear before you do anything else. So
So
Well,
I felt like
I'm gonna
it was
put your
something
name
that
on
was
the prayer
going on
jar.
with you. I felt it was
oh
something
yeah,
that was going on with you. Um, so when we say a prayer, you could be into that.
I mean, you can say a prayer. We can pray. It doesn't
We can
matter.
all, yeah.
I invite that. Uh, you know. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not past that. I'm with that.
You got something to do?
Nothing but go to bed.
Because I seen you was finna leave. So I just wanted to stick around. So, you know,
Yeah.
Well, do we want to start? I'm going to start a prayer, but I will tell you this, CJ. I have a prayer jar, and in that prayer jar above it, it says God is. I'm going to put your name because I know your health. You told me about your health. So I'm going to put your
hmm
name in the prayer jar, and I will pray for you every day because he's got to get up. And I'm like him. I
We
don't
love
know
you,
that.
CJ.
Yeah,
yes, we
Pardon,
he's got.
do.
pardon me. I couldn't hear you.
She said we love you, CJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love you too. Man, listen, man. Um, when I set out to do something, and I set out with Christ in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Um, and not only because of my situation, I was doing that before my situation.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, I Even though my situation is heavy
Mhm.
and it's gonna eventually take my life, but check this out. It can't do nothing unless God allows it to occur.
That's it.
Amen.
So with that, I understand that when it's my time, when He called me, that's it.
Mhm.
You understand? So I got that understanding. And
hmm
so with that said, I'm cool.
You
The
are.
beauty of him is that he keeps his mind strong because he knows.
Right.
He knows.
hmm
And that's what it takes. He doesn't wake up every day on his own self pity pot. He's not that kind of person. I know
Right.
what he's going through because I'm going through 11 diagnoses myself. I don't know if I mean I have some near misses. I done had 3 of them already and been crippled and came back walking. You just
God is
know,
good.
yeah, you just know
He's
there's one
amazing.
right.
We
Is
go,
it God?
we all
It's
go through
God.
what we go through. We go through what we go through. You know.
But God is, he's
hmm
already on the higher plateau because he recognizes that and he doesn't, it's not a self pity when you have these things. You still live through them and he
Hmm.
knows that he's blanketed under God's care. And if,
Right.
someone sent this to me, never put a question mark where God has put a period, which
Mm.
means that if I have to
Oh,
give it to somebody, I give
yeah.
it to God.
Yes.
I give it to God.
Nice.
Right.
So, but during this time, and I promise you this, I will have you and hold you in prayer when midnight comes on Christmas Eve. Know that in my heart, from what you're going through, I'm going through the same thing. I'm asking you, CJ, to hold me in prayer, and I'm holding you in prayer. And there's where 2 or more are gathered.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what
That's
I'm saying.
dope. Hey
Hi,
man,
Booster.
salute. Yeah, salute the boost in the chat. That's my guy right there. Very official, very
Hello.
professional. Salute boost. Appreciate you for showing up, bro.
Thank you
Hey,
so much.
if somebody wanna go ahead and start the prayer out, because I'm gonna lay it on
Oh yeah, oh
down.
yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Okay, well, I'll start, and whatever anybody wants to add on, go ahead, feel free in case I didn't get it all in content. Okay.
Okay.
Dear,
hmm
dear God, we ask you today to hold us all and lift us all up so we can keep our minds focused on you because we know that through you, this is where all things come from. We ask that you especially blanket our brother, CJ, and hold him in perfect health and keep him in perfect peace so he can walk this road that you have chosen for him that is beyond our comprehension. We ask that you blanket him and take him to his higher source, because we know that you are using him as his channel. We thank you for him. We thank you for knowing him, and we thank you for having him with us. We surrender unto you him, but we also ask that you keep him in his perfect peace. And this we ask and affirm, and so it is. Amen.
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 I
Amen.
appreciate it. Like I said, listen first. I don't always be quiet. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like listening today. So,
I
um,
got a Christmas present for you before I go. So I'm going to do this because I want you to know that in its effort, it's sincere. So I'm going to start this before Christmas Eve, because I think that if you know this, you'll know that it's done properly.
Hey man,
So,
they ain't done with him. You see the
I
see
send
them
my
graves
love
in his
to
bed?
you,
They ain't
TJ.
done with him. He here for a reason, man.
no,
Absolutely.
That's
okay.
wisdom right there.
Can you all see this? Does anybody see this? God is.
Oh, you
no, we
not
No,
can't
cammed
your
see
out.
nothing
camera is
because you
out.
You
got the
only see
screen blanked out.
Oh, let me take the cam off. Okay.
You still
Sorry.
got it. It went back. It's blanked off again. There you
Okay. Can
go. There you
everybody
go.
see this? God is.
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Okay. And you see this? This is the prayer room. So here's the pen. I'm going to write CJ's name and put it in here. Okay. In the prayer room, it says, I am the way. Always. God is. All come by way of me. That's the picture. If you can see it, it's kind of, I don't
I
know if
can
Yeah,
I'm
we
see
can
doing
it.
see
this
it.
right.
I can see it.
Okay, so I'm getting ready to put his name in the prayer room and in this jar.
That's awesome.
Give me a second to do this.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. There's the angels, everything.
Ain't God
Goodbye.
good?
You all see it? And I made this. This was
That's
a
very
picture
nice.
somebody threw out, and I got it out of the alley, and I made it into God is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So all I know is God. I mean, I've gone to college and everything else. I don't have to be a PhD to know that. All I have to know is God.
No, you
So,
don't.
okay, CJ,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to write on here, release afflictions.
Mm.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like to say I'm the real deal or be the real deal, and I'm telling you something that didn't happen. I don't do that. That's not for me either. So, okay. You see this? And there's the jar. Does anybody see the jar?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
we can.
Mm.
Okay, you see CJ, and I put YouTube because I'm targeting a specific prayer for him, because this is the channel in which he came through.
Mm-hmm.
So it says release afflictions for better health. It is now in the prayer jar. And when I come in here and drop down on my knees, God is praying for him like I'm praying for him. And there's two or more gathered. And
Mm.
in the I'm a kind of a lot of religions.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you all can see this, but and it is done.
It sure.
May I ask what's the bill for?
The bell comes from a friend that I met. I went on a trip for a spa. I met a woman I thought was Hispanic. And I saw that she was cleaning up my room. And I told her, no, let me help you. And I helped her clean up my own room at the Conrad Hilton. And I wrapped her legs up because she was in pain. And I said, are you Hispanic? And she said, no, my name is Mansova Singh and I'm from Nepal. I was like, whoa, she became my best friend. She
Mm-hmm.
sends me jewelry. She prays for me and everything from the top of Mount Everest. Now, I would have never got there. So I knew it was God
Mm.
sent. So
Yeah.
she opened me up to a new faith, which is called the chakra or Buddhism.
Yep. Yep.
Been Catholic,
If you
Baptist,
didn't
I've
say
been
it
all
right,
of
I was
these.
Oh,
gonna
that's me
correct you
too. Yeah,
through
I
meditation
rock with
and
Buddhism too.
chakra. Yeah. Mhm.
And what does it mean? It means that the religions, whatever they are practiced, are interwoven. And what I did was interweave. And the bell is the chime. The chimes you hear clear the ear and the mind. If you notice, everything kind of
Yep.
was silent. You just heard the megahertz of the vibration, and everything was just.
Mhm.
There's a channel in there.
Mhm.
So I thank her and her friendship for teaching me this. But in turn, I didn't ask for this. She sent me, she went back to Nepal and sent me jewelry from Nepal. I couldn't believe this was happening. But I do
Mhm.
know it came through God. It was meant for me to meet that lady. The act that I did, her being the
Okay,
maid
God.
to clean up my room, I helped her. I was paying.
Mhm.
I helped her.
Okay,
And that
everybody,
was
take it
everything.
easy, man. I'm gonna lay it on down.
Hugs
All
and
Sorry,
right,
I
go
didn't
get
kisses.
some
mean to
rest,
interrupt
man.
you. I
God
just
be
wanted to
with
let y'all know
you.
that.
My love is with you. Good night.
Good night,
Love you,
everybody.
CJ. Be
No doubt,
blessed.
no doubt, man. Rest up. You good?
All right.
Don't forget about me Christmas Eve, and I won't forget about you. That's my
Yes,
promise.
yes, ma'am. What's your
You'll
name?
be in my heart.
What's your name?
My real name,
Yes, ma'am.
Janet, like
Okay.
Jackson, without the money.
Okay. Okay.
There's a little chuckle for you, CJ. Janet
Okay.
like
I got
Jackson, but without the money.
you. I
Look at we
got you.
got a
I got
smile, brownie points for Jesus. Look at
you.
it.
All right. All right, y'all. Hey, take
All
it
right.
easy, y'all.
All
Take it
right.
easy.
He's a beautiful person. He
Oh,
really is.
CJ. I say that every time because I know he's, going through and he still try to keep his attitude, keep a
Yeah.
positive
He the
attitude.
only one that could, you know what I like about him? He's so gentlemanly when he feel like what's the name get out of line. He check Kennedy.
Oh, he'll get real crunk with Kennedy.
And I'm sorry, the lady in the bottom. I can't see it. Is that Lavette? I can't see your name. What's
Lynette.
your
Lynette.
name? Lynette. Okay.
Yeah.
He checks Tennessee so bad he tell Tennessee shut up and let somebody else talk.
Oh yeah, I didn't heard them. So I wanted to quickly say to everybody that's in Houston, because I was reading it, I was in the chat. Um, and I know Houston is not, fond of the cold. And anybody else who's not fond of the cold, in states where it doesn't get that cold, I'm from Chicago, so um I'm
So am
used to the
I.
blizzards. Yeah, I heard you say that, and I'm like, okay, Chi-Town. But
Yeah,
I'm
shot
used to
down
the
in the house.
blizzards. I'm used to the snow, all the ice, all of that.
Mhm.
So, turn y'all water on low
And you
because
know
if
what,
you
Lynette?
don't,
I had my
it's
kitchen
gonna
water
freeze.
on. It
Yeah,
still
but
Your
froze.
pipes will
she's right.
freeze.
She's right. You got to leave it and let it drip when you're in this type of
All,
Arctic.
not just one, all,
All of them. That's
I
right.
all
She's
did.
of
right.
them.
And all of them still working except for the sink, unless one of them boys went in there and
Probably
accidentally
turned
turned it
it
off.
off.
Oh,
Yeah, turn y'all water on, let it run.
Do you have a
Turn your
heating pad?
heat up. Do y'all
Do you
have
have a
heat
heating
there?
pad?
I mean,
No, I'm
I
asking Mo, does she have a heating pad?
I have like because it takes a lot when it's this cold. It's probably like I think it's 70 degrees in here, so I have heaters all around me. I do have a heating pad too.
Okay. Wrap that around your pipe and see if the water will express out. Try to something might be stalled or frozen due to the pipeline, but you don't
yeah.
want pipeline problems because the city will
And
try to make you pay for that stuff.
just remind your boys not to turn off the water. They will
Right.
forget
So
because I was one of them.
do y'all think that my water will be okay though once it warms back up or no?
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. You just gotta keep it running so your pipes won't freeze. Cause once they freeze, you out of luck. You do you have water in your house? Like water bottles?
A lot, yeah.
Okay. Cause if your pipes freeze, then you out of luck until they defrost.
The only one frozen is the kitchen, like the tubs, the
Okay.
bathrooms, they
Yeah.
fine.
So that's why she
So
said
so
take your heating pad
wrap
and
that
wrap
with
it
the
around.
the
Right. Try to
kitchen.
heat the pipe up, not the faucet. Heat your pipes up. So whatever's stalling down there, it'll express through.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
see if that. But I do know one thing that Texas loves, and it's a market for him. And y'all not gonna believe this, but this is my truth. Everybody loves Frankie Beverly, right?
Mhm. Right.
Frankie Beverly and I have been friends since 2017, to the point that
Really?
Frankie trusted me with his phone number.
Mhm.
Now, I know this comes from God. It has to, because how did I reach Frankie Beverly? Of all
Mhm.
people,
Mm,
I didn't expect this, but I was
right.
going through something where I just gave up in my health, and Frankie wouldn't let me fall, and Frankie was having surgery, and I wouldn't let Frankie fall. He
That's
had never been
awesome.
through surgery, and it freaked him out. And Frankie didn't realize until I told him that I was a 4.0 GPA in science, Dean's List, won a trip to Europe, so I know my way around the body parts. And I was telling Frankie how to get through and keep his head right. And he was going through some things. I'm telling you, Frankie would holler at me so bad through my phone and text, and I thought he was gonna jump through the phone. But
Mm.
I couldn't understand how Frankie Beverly would take the time out, and we developed a friendship, and it's still ongoing. 5 years. He just had a birthday. I will tell you all to pray for him. I can't tell you what I know because that would be exposing his business. And it's up to
Right.
Frankie to put his business out. It's not for me to do that. But I do know him, and people's like, for Frankie Beverly, well, whatever. He's a human being too. The only difference between Frankie Beverly and us is his money. Other than that, Frankie Beverly go to the bathroom just like we all do. So,
Mhm.
am I to see him as a star, or am I to see him as a human being? So
Right.
he kept calling me a fan, and I told him, I'm not your fan, I'm your friend. I'm your friend. Fan means fanatical audience nuisance. I am
Oh
not that.
wow, tickle me.
Okay. So
Oh
we
my
became
God.
very, very good friends. After Frankie came Jeffrey Osborne, Lonnie Liston Smith. Will, I don't know, you know about Lonnie Liston Smith? Expand your mind.
Yeah,
You ever?
yeah, I seen that. I seen that before. Yeah,
Okay. I always said that, expand your brain pan, because when I grew up, Lonnie Liston Smith influenced my life for me to see it farther, see it wider. Okay. I met that man and it blew my mind. I mean, I've been on stage with After Seven, Mickey Howard, all these
Oh, I
stars.
love After Seven.
Right. Tony Braxton sent me a microphone of her brand new cologne and asked me, could she send it? And it blew my mind. I just know
Cheapo.
that right. I know all these people come by way of God. God surely has catapulted me to a height that I don't even understand. This little old girl from Chicago,
I don't
Chi-Town,
know,
like you
Clody.
said, but I know I'm
Yeah.
blessed to have it in my life. I know to embrace it. I know not
Mhm.
to abuse it, because I've reached a height that I guess God wanted me to see that what these are people too.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When Twitch passed, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Whatever happened to him, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's a
Right.
known fact. And since coming from Shy, you know about the rink and everything else, roller skating, how we are deaf on roller skating here, right? So
Mhm.
roller skating releases endorphins. Dancing does too. So it makes you happy. Uh, I don't, uh, I know that only God knows what happened to that man. I know the sequences of it don't run up to someone to me that was depressed. And
Right.
I will say this depression, there is a such thing as depression. I'm in a depressive state now. I got to wake up every day and push a bucket with 11 illnesses and 18 pills. It's a full time job. I feel like I should be paid for this. But
Wow.
the fact is that I wake up and push that pail, because if God gets me up, I'm going to make something of that day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you have to do. Sitting on a pity pot, all that's going to do is take you to a quicker death.
Yes, it is.
You can't do that.
I'm
It's
sorry,
not.
y'all. It was a gnat up in here. My fault.
Not a gnat.
Yeah, it was a gnat up in here, and I was contemplating long and hard. I said, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna either take it out or I could just open a window. And then I just chose to just let it go. Yeah, it was trying. I'm
I
sorry,
let the
any
gnat
service.
go. I don't blame you, Will. I let the gnat go, but I ain't for the roaches now. They ain't gonna the roach
Okay.
No,
can't
no,
even get
nothing like
to
that.
No,
No.
no.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
eat a lot of
God.
fruit, so sometimes I might leave out some plantains or something like that, or some
Yes,
yams or something like that, and then oh, it's crazy.
me.
yes,
I wish
they
that
are.
I wish that this guy say, hey bro. I don't see guys saying, hey mofo, hey, that's just some strange fruit to me. I can't get with that. And
Hmm.
where we got to the point, there's nothing friendly about saying, hey itch, tag.
Right. Hold on. I'm with Tickle. Tickle said, "Are gnats still alive during the winter?" Right.
Yes,
What?
yes.
I mean,
Fruit.
I got two money trees in my crib, so I'm not. I seen like little pieces, like little hole. I said, "What's going on?" And then I seen a gnat fly. I said, "Oh, he getting crazy off my money tree."
Mm.
I think he's even
Yeah.
starving.
So fruit fly. I mean fruit.
Crazy.
Um, the what? Your damn, I
Fruit
can't think.
flies, gnats, flies,
Oh, we was
whatever.
talking about gnats. Are gnats still alive like during the winter time? I thought it was a
Yeah.
summer thing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No,
You got fruit in your house from your pipes. They say pour bleach down into your sink drains and stuff.
Hmm.
Ah,
once a
nice. I'm
week.
gonna try that.
Once a week. She's right. That's true. Once a
Yeah,
week.
I'm gonna definitely try that. I'll be cleaning up in here, and I definitely don't do that.
And
Hmm.
use lemon bleach if you can find it, because lemon bleach is the best to put it
Mm,
on there.
okay, okay, okay.
I'm just getting the notification on my other phone. Mo Love is live.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Y'all feel free
y'all
to
stay
support my
warm.
channel at Molove eight
Stay,
six eight six Cash App. I know it's Christmas, so y'all probably like, child, please. But if you feel like it, or if God leads you to, feel
Well,
free.
you got a pen? You got a pen, Mo?
Let me
She
see.
dropped it in the chat.
No, well, I got a
Oh, do I have
problem
it
with,
pinned?
yeah,
Oh,
the
she got a
reason
No,
pen.
why
I
Okay.
don't. It's so
I'd
much
rather
stuff I ain't learned how to do.
I
It's a
would rather
shame.
send her the money to her, because from my understanding is, and another commentator told me this, is that if I send it through a cash app, they take a percentage of what I want to donate to her, and I'm donating to her. I'm not donating to YouTube. I don't mind putting
They don't.
somebody a check.
oh
I,
no, YouTube
I ain't
don't
never.
take nothing.
Okay, okay, I was about to say, because but you moved from Chicago and you're in Texas now.
Who?
Me?
You No, I know you're in. I'm talking to Lynette. Is she in?
Oh
You're in
no no no
Texas.
no 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 no. I'm in over by Six Flags.
Okay, I know where you're at. You're north.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
All
I
right.
just want to, because
I'm
I see everybody in the chat that's saying like it's negative this and it's cold and thing. And I heard her saying her pipes, one of her pipes was froze. So I wanted to get up here and share some knowledge of how to stay warm and because
Thank you, girl. Cause
I'm
whew, Dallas.
whew, I'm cold right now, but
You know it's
I can deal with
you
it.
got -6 up there. So I'm in Hyde Park. So you know where I'm at. I'm Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, I'm
Minus
not too far
six.
from you.
Lord.
Right. You're about a 40-minute drive
You
from me.
90. I mean, it's -6 where you at.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, you right,
43.
Cheapo. Cheapo said Cash App don't take anything YouTube does. So I guess if you do like super chats, is that it?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
talking
super
They
about
take
super
a
chats they
chat.
take about
percentage
thirty
Cash
of
percent.
app
that,
though.
but not Cash App. I don't do. I'm not monetized. Oh, do you have to be monetized for stuff like that? I think so.
No, when you monetize, YouTube would just take 30% of what somebody sends you. So if somebody sends you 50, you'll probably get about 30. YouTube would get about 20.
Oh wow, they get a big little chunk.
Yeah, yeah. But they'll add
Right.
it up though. It's like they'll add up everything that everybody sent you over the month, and then if you're monetized on like the 21st or the 22nd, you'll get a check.
Oh, gotcha.
Does anybody know about Cartier Carlo?
Yeah.
Who is
That
that?
boy, he did the lemon pepper challenge. Now
Oh, you was there
Oh,
for that? Oh
man,
man.
they call me auntie, so I take that as an endearing term. I don't take it for granted.
mm-hmm.
So, and I kind of, I just try to understand people. I don't say I'm older than you and I've been, no, 67 is the number of years I've lived on earth. That's all. It doesn't have nothing to do with how I think in my mind.
You are
So,
wise though.
what he did was I come up there just to pass through and say, hi, Will, okay?
Yeah.
Get on up
Mm-hmm.
here, auntie. Put your camera on. You're going to do the lemon pepper challenge. He had me eating tomatoes with lemon pepper on it. And then it got so hilariously funny, but it was great Christmas cheer. It made my day. And I took some
Oh.
Activia blueberry yogurt and
Mm-hmm.
put lemon pepper in that. And then I went Tabasco and put Tabasco on it. He ate 16 things with lemon pepper on it. We were laughing so hard. When you play it back, you got to go watch that stream. It was hilarious.
Who is it again?
Cartier Carlo.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look him up.
He spells Cartiier, Carlo, but he's got a genius of content. What happens is on some of these YouTube channels, one person will start some smoke with another person, and then that
Mm-hmm.
person using it for content, and then they going back and forth. So they in some smoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
He don't do that. He has his own uh and he's got a genius for comedy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a lift. He just cracks you up. Okay. But there was one time, you all have to watch the show, where Kennedy went foul because he said something about George Floyd. He said F George Floyd. And for
Mm-hmm.
33 years old, that boy stood his ground and told him, I'm kicking you off my chat. He said, until you apologize to George Floyd and the people in my chat. Now, Kennedy won't apologize. But Kennedy has to understand that sometimes the things he says affects others. How did we feel about George Floyd? Because we all know that was foul. And George
Right.
Floyd, that was a real $20 bill he gave. The employee was trying to make a little name for his boss.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Kennedy smoke is real smoke. I mean, not Kennedy, but Cartier smoke is real smoke, because he's saying, I'm not going to allow you to be on my panel until you apologize to what you said about George Floyd. This man is
Mm-hmm.
gone. We don't have the right to say F George Floyd. We don't have that
I
right.
I
What's wrong
remember
with
that
you?
live. I was just listening in. I didn't comment that day, but I do remember him saying that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Kennedy understands, when he be telling, you know, his thing is this. When Kennedy has lack of a better word, he tries to tune in on me. And that's what Mo said she liked about me, because I don't take no stuff off of him.
Okay.
And I won't. I won't. But I will say this. I won't sit on his panel, because the things he talks about, and whenever he gets to that point where he's a little too saucy in that sauce, it
Mm-hmm.
always alludes to talking underneath my dress. I don't like that.
Right.
I can't endorse it.
Right.
Period. Because I'm not talking to him that way. If I'm talking to him with respect, then he needs to give me back the same respect. Some people get,
Absolutely.
what do they call that, Will? They call them beer muscles. When you get
It,
too drunk, you get beer muscles.
oh,
Mm.
liquid courage.
Right. That's what it is. It's liquid courage.
Right.
And
Hey,
I just
Rakisha.
I just feel like when he has a problem, we try to help him with the problem. I told him how Mo was on that panel, and I told him how to solve the problem, the child support problem,
Mm-hmm.
the DNA. I told him, but I told him, remember me telling him I expect you to get on this Monday? He'd rather be in the pity pot for 3 days
Mm-hmm.
instead of doing something about it to find out if the child belongs to him or not. That's it. That's all
Mm-hmm.
he got to do. He can come out of default. Anybody can do anything with the courts, but instead he wants to, everybody has to hear the same thing over and over again. So no matter if I'm helping him or Mo's trying to help him or you trying to help him, Will, He don't listen. He don't hear us because he's in that courage mode.
Hmm.
And the courage mode really is being able to accept when somebody offers you advice. I'd rather you give me the advice and I take it and say, okay, well, I done took this and used this, and then come back to you and say, well, this didn't work out. Do you have any other suggestions? I want to see where it's going to take me, but
Right.
I definitely don't want to shoot it down. That doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Yeah, in his service, I just hit up Carl on IG, so I'm not sure if he around or he watching, but he might tune in sooner or later. I don't know if he if he watching, but if he is, yeah, Carlo, yeah, you
Cool.
Yeah,
should,
Carlo cracks me up. Auntie, get
yeah,
on
I hit
up.
him up. Yeah, he got a bunch of different personalities. That's why I rock with about him too. He has different, like he's not afraid to get into character. He has a character named Ben Pimpin. He has a character. It's a bunch of different character. He plays like a elderly guy sometimes. He's very talented. So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
Oh, cool.
comedy genius, isn't it? Him and
yeah.
Joe, him and Joe.
Oh,
But
I forgot about Joe. Yeah, Joe's different. Joe can actually sing. You know Joe can sing, right?
no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he can
I
sing.
went up on Joe's panel, but Kennedy came up there talking in a different tone, but I could tell that it was Kennedy. And Joe
He's
said,
so
well,
silly.
he's like, this is my panel. And I was like, I didn't recognize your voice, Joe, but I can recognize Kennedy's because I watched Kennedy's shorts just had me just on the flow. They're just ingenious. I mean, he's got a genius for comedy. He just really does. I can see
Hmm.
this man having his own show on Las Vegas. Okay. This boy is destined for comedy. I'm telling you, he's got it. He's definitely,
Yeah,
and he thinks,
I would just forget about Kennedy though, because Kennedy he not he just what the it say throwed. He throwed.
Claude, we
So
did. I'm sorry, Claude. We did. I talked about pressing forward, like at the beginning of my live, and then people joined in when we kind of just went from topic to topic. I'm sorry, but I did
oh
talk about it for about 10 minutes.
no, you talked about it longer than that because I came in on it.
Yeah, I came from Exodus. I talked about. Well, I use the scripture, forgetting those things which are behind, pressing forward.
Chloe G,
Towards
you
the
got a
mark of the
story.
high calling. And
Yeah.
then gave the example from Exodus, like how God was encouraging Moses to just move forward, how the Israelites got stuck in their trauma. They began murmuring and complaining, and they stayed in that hard season longer than they had to, you know? And I was just talking about just continuing to move forward, even if you have to take baby steps. Just don't get stuck where you are. And I was just saying how I know people personally, they go through something so tragic and they end up staying there for years. And then I look back years later and, they're just doomed. They've given up on everything. So my goal is to just keep encouraging people in their faith. I don't want to see not one person give up as long as I'm breathing. If there's anything that I can do, if it's prayer or just a word of
We just had
encouragement,
a power
you know.
outage here. Lord have mercy. We just had a power outage.
Your lights went off?
Heck yeah.
Oh no.
Suckers went off and flashed back on, but I lost audio because my Wi-Fi is connected to the phone and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, that was freaky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my computer is trying to reset and everything. This is deep. No, 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 no.
My
Keep
Yeah.
lights
quiet,
went
Say
deep
out earlier,
Jesus.
but they came right back on. Thank God. I was like, oh, us Texas folks can't deal with 13 degrees.
oh, so I think I see what they're doing. So it's kind of like they're switching around the source of power so the generator doesn't overheat in the
Oh, they
city.
did that to us early in 2021.
I saw a video about that. A guy was talking about it. He was like, if it gets to the point where things are a little bit haywire, they may shut off powers in certain areas to reserve power in other areas, and then
But
after a certain
why?
to keep the ball rolling. Like they're gonna, it's not gonna be a power outage all day. You see how your lights cut off and then he came back on, and then her lights cut off and came back on. It's a bunch of different switches and conversions going on. So I mean, to me, they know what's best, because you don't want no weird freak accidents happening with heaters and people trying to overheat the house. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
'Cause it's
I am
Texas. Me,
in
I'm in
here.
New York. I'm used to it.
I'm in here right now, turning on every faucet, just like you said. I'm dripping everything. That power outage just freaked me out.
Okay.
I can't afford that. But you were saying what were you say? You started to say something. What did you say about Tennessee? Something about
No, I
I'm
was I was just saying he's a guy who's set in his ways. So when
Mhm.
it came to the whole George Floyd type of situation, I remember that. And you got to remember he's an older man, so he doesn't see how the rest of the world sees it. You see what I'm saying? Like
But
he
he has said some things I'll be like, "Oh, that make a little sense." Every
Yeah,
once in a
everyone,
while.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, definitely.
it
But
depends
But a lot
upon
of times
it
I'll
de-
be like, "What is he talking about?"
right. It depends upon the extent of his drunk. Okay, if he's been saucing all day long, then
Mhm.
you're gonna get something else. But stuck in his ways, we can't be stuck in our ways, period. You've even got some people prepare for an exit for death. So,
But
I'm
let's be real, a lot of us are stuck in our ways. Like there are just certain things we don't want to change.
I'm
I'm
not.
I'm gonna give her an example. All right. If in this service, if I came over your house, right, there's certain rules you got in place, correct?
Yeah.
Uh,
Right. Now I
I only
can't just
have
come
one
over.
rule. I have
Okay.
one rule, but go ahead.
Got it.
That's a good start.
Well, right. I was going with that, which is anybody. This is for anybody and everybody in the chat too. If let's say you have your place, you run things how you run your things. You clean up certain times, cool, whatever. Now I come over there and aren't you going to give me a set of rules? You see what I'm saying? And if I break
No,
those rules, aren't you going to get, what I'm saying? You're
no.
going to be a little
When I
bit
was
frustrated.
see, I have this, and maybe I'm setting my ways in that, so I will agree to that to a point. Remember, I told you there's a big picture in here. It says, "Relax, God is in control." So the moment I let you in my house, my job is to greet you and to treat you as the visitor as you are, to serve you, ask you, is there anything to welcome you? Now, if someone in my house decides to say they don't like Will, they got to go. Because, see, I don't play that in my house. If God is in control, we all have to be a balance. I'm a Libra, so I believe in a balance in things. So,
Mhm.
therefore, Will means just as much to me as the guest that came before Will. I'm not going to have nobody mistreated in my house because this is my house and this is the tone and the climate that I want in my house, to treat everybody equally. To me,
If
that's important.
if I
So
may, oh, sorry,
let me
go
put it this. I think what you might say is this. Let's say you came to my house. Here's a better example. Let's say you came to my house and you were sitting at the dining room table, and then you kept getting up and just leaving the chair away from the table, away from the table. What you're saying is what I tell you, would the seat go back? No, I just put the seat back in. I'm the kind of person that, I let whatever go on, everybody have a good time. And then afterwards, I know I have to do the cleanup job, and that's it. So
Mhm.
I don't
Oh yeah, precisely. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, you got it. You got it. That's where I was aiming for. You know.
I only have one rule in here. Don't come in and say the GD word, because see, I don't play that. That makes me cringe. It literally makes me cringe. So you're right in the effect that I would be setting my ways with that. I don't allow that. Other
Yeah,
people
that's
come
that's
in
all I
Hey,
and
was
say,
King
saying as
Wizard.
far
Hold
as
on, y'all. Hold on. They saying, okay, Chivo said, I want to know what draws the saint to Kennedy Channel. Are you saying in particular one saint or just the people?
I know
Are
what
you
draws
saying a
me.
group or what? Because I honestly like when I saw him on Cap Channel, I said, "Oh my gosh, this person is just so funny to me." And I started chiming. I mean, I started listening every once in a while, and then I started listening more because he was so funny.
Shoot, I draw to Kennessy's channel and was drawing to Kennessy's channel at first because Kennedy be the only one up there 6 hours other than Cartier Carlos. So if I'm up doing work late at night, for me, it got to
Hmm.
be something to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, he reminds me of my uncle. Back in the day, he used to watch me and my cousin when we
Or
was
a man
babies.
talking up and underneath my dress. I
Mm.
don't endorse all that. If I'm about God, I can't be about Kennedy. Kennedy's platform is off to me. So
So
therefore,
Chipo said the one on the panel that's a part of all the ministries listed. So I guess in his service, my boo Chipo is wondering, I guess, why you're a part of. I guess that will go for me too, though, because I be in there too laughing, Chipo.
tell her I'm not a part of it. I don't talk to Kennedy. Once Kennedy said F George Floyd and the fact that he's not serving up respect, it's one thing for him to have a platform. What I don't like is commentators that get up to say, this my darn channel. Well, you inviting people into your panel and you ain't listening to the people into your panel. What you doing is trying to dictate to people in your panel. And we just sitting there and don't have a voice. This is what I liked about CJ because he keep telling him, we don't want to hear your music. We don't want to hear this. Kennedy is about reliving his life. I mean, this man got so crazy. He was
See his
sending me his
all the
baby pictures.
world.
Right. He sends his baby pictures. He relives all his moments every time he gets up there and wants us to relive them with him. Okay, thank you for exposing us to them, but it does not have to be redundant. Give us
Mm-hmm.
something to talk about. Inspire us from the mind that we can share a group think of what we think about something. Not him having his radio music and this and that and the other. Some people are what I call stuck in a time warp. You know what the time
Mm-hmm.
warp is? You just stall. Just like
Mm-hmm.
what Mo just said, you got to move forward. If you don't move forward, you get stalled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that he has a propensity to get stalled, and
I
that's not
think,
going to work.
well, he just does, like, he be like, why y'all believe in something y'all ain't never seen? Like, that's his thing. That I hear
Right.
him
I
say
mean,
that all
because
the
he's
time.
at that point where his reality is his main tool. So
Mm-hmm.
he's past the fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? The like how in his service was saying early. Well, she's not into the whole lights outside and every. You know what I'm saying? The glitz and the glamour. It's the same thing
Mm-hmm.
with Kennedy. He's past all of that. So when he starts hearing people talk, his mind is on like randomness is totally random. That's one of the things I appreciate about his platform is that I don't have to worry about channel etiquette. Like I don't have to go up
Mm-hmm.
there and worry about if he's gonna feel like I'm over talking him or if you know what I'm saying. Like if I'm changing the subject, he'll just rock with it. Like we could be talking about beer bottles and then go from there to space and he's right there with you. But he gonna say something
Right.
off the wall though.
He is. Oh
That's
my
because he
God.
likes he likes to create smoke. That's what his content is about. That's why he calls it the FS. Okay, that's why he calls it that.
When
Kennedy
he
likes to.
said, he was like, okay, y'all talking about Jesus walked on water. Can't I pour some water? Didn't I pour some water on the ground and walk on top of it? I'm that nigga. I did too. I said, I don't know where Kennedy had
Well,
it, but
you remember on
that's
that
not
show I
it.
explained to him about that, Mo? I told him, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you walking on water, but you walking on water that hit the ground. You ain't walking on the Pacific Ocean.
Close G
Right.
asks a lot of questions.
Kennedy, you got to put him back into reality. But what I'm trying to say is it's hard to reality check him because see, he's that nigga that don't give a F. And when you say, and I'm that sister that does. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't jail for me
Yeah.
because he doesn't have a content that jails for me, chat. If I'm the one that has to give a care, and this is the work that I'm supposed to do in my life, why would I pair up with somebody that doesn't?
Could you imagine if this was a live TV show?
Oh
Oh,
my
Yeah,
gosh.
we have to break the commercial. Technical
So, what advice
difficulties.
would y'all give people, like, since the topic was continuing to move forward, like not looking back? What advice would you give somebody, or what tools have y'all used to help y'all when y'all feel, oh, I'm stuck, or I can't move on, I can't press forward? What has worked for you personally?
I check my own ass.
Mm-hmm.
I check me. You know how they say, oh, I got to check you? I
Right.
check me. I check me and say, you know what, Janet, that was stupid. Why did you do that? I try to find a way when I know that I'm stuck on stupid, I get off of that pot. Because, see, if I stuck on stupid, that means I'm stalled in stupid. So I
Right.
check myself. I call it a counterbalance. I find a counterbalance to making it or trying to put it back right for me. Get
Right.
back into my flow. Get back into my flow is what it's called. So that's how I do it. And I'm just saying this, if I don't stay in any stagnant realm at 67 years old, I don't see a point.
Yeah.
The reason why, let's think about that. When you are stalled and you are stuck, there is nothing there. It's
Right.
empty
That's
content.
true.
Excuse me, I'm getting some orange juice.
What y'all
No, you
talking
good.
about in the chat? I'm
Let me
confused.
see. Let me go see right now.
What's weird is what that we kind of got off topic, that I got off topic, or what did I miss something?
Chloe G, what you want to talk about? I mean, I'm very diverse. I
Right.
mean,
The chat can put up something and say what they want us to talk about, and then we just go impromptu. But
Hold on, I'm
sometimes
about to call.
they get laid back. They get laid back.
Chloe G going. Yeah, Chloe G, salute. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you keeping us on topic and everything like that. If if you would like to, you can put a topic in there and then we'll go from there.
I love the people that support me because there are so many different personalities here, and I love each and every one of them. That makes
Uh,
it fun, you know?
well, if it's a comfortable conversation, and yeah, conversations will get off track. They always do.
No,
That's a
I
given.
said no. I don't know. I was just being a little. I was just being. I guess a little funny. A little. Just trying to make it a
I
little
guess
light.
I'm following y'all and I'm following the comments, and I'm just kind of confused on where things took a turn
No, no, no.
with the
I
comments.
guess they want. It was a certain vibe. I mean, I'll get back in the comments if that's what they want. I didn't mean to come up here, but I just wanted to just let you know that I came. I shared the
I
uh,
appreciate you, Will.
yeah, no doubt, always. I'm just all about growth. I just wanted, more
Hmm.
opinions to come up in here. A few of my people came through. That was about it.
Thank
That's
y'all so
all.
much for the new people that
That's all.
came through to support. I appreciate it.
And how
Yeah, no
about
doubt. I'll
what
be
do
in the
they
chat.
want us to address? Ask the chat, what do they want us to address?
No, no, it's all good. I probably just a new face. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why exactly.
Who is calling?
Whatever they want, I'm
Mm.
cool with. I ain't tripping.
I'm glad to see you though, Will, because I know whenever I do, you always speak to me. And in
Yeah.
regard, I appreciate that because I
No.
don't try
Yeah.
to get on here and tell people what I'm going through.
Lynette,
That's
we talked about that. That was last week's sermon. Hey, Seahawks. Seahawks fan. You mean Cowboys?
Oh, they go.
Cowboys fan?
That's my that's my friend Cece.
Hi.
She's very vibrant. She has very expensive sneakers, and she's cool.
Okay,
See,
hun, you
I
gonna
like
get
this man
along.
because he's a gentleman. See, he's a gentleman, meaning that he's a
Mm-hmm.
gentle man.
I
He's a
appreciate that.
man of himself in his own spirit, which is gentle and emits gentle. And that's the kind of man I like. And I used to think I was old fashioned and antiquated. See, brothers ain't like that here in Chicago. They horrible.
It seemed like New Yorkers, no offense, I know you from New York. Why it seemed like New
You
York men
good?
are like so mean? Like I was dating this guy from New York for like 2 years and he was just, I don't know. I was like,
Nah, it's all good.
"Mm."
I mean, you got different personalities in New York. You got the get it by any means type of dudes. Then you got dudes like me who just I appreciate the small things in life, and
Mhm.
and then you got those how can I say, you got those intellectual type. I mean, so you're gonna run into a bunch of variety. You know what I'm saying? Like, but sorry that one person had to be a little bit out there, but it happens. It happens. But that's the one thing I try to just shoot for, just respect, and
Right.
that's about it. I mean, it goes a long way. You give a little, you get it back. Um, that's all I can ask for. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, a lot of people that I talk to, associate with, Everybody's positive. Everybody's doing something,
Hey,
you know,
sister.
constructive.
Y'all, that's
Okay.
in his service. You know, you met my sister on Kennedy Live the other night. But Will, that's I don't know if you met my sister here for the tea.
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
As
Okay.
Chico says, I want to hear from the lady since she's a pastor. I am not a pastor. I am a GF3 faith leader. God's future, God's foundation, God's faith. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not a pastor of a church. I am a GF3 faith leader, which means that in my actions of proper accord with God, I am not to lose faith. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it means. So I do not profess to be a pastor. I am not that.
Salute
Okay.
here for the tea.
Oh,
Salute, Roaster.
okay.
Okay. So the fact is that when we talk about the word, there's only one thing to say about the word, L, and the word is Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, wrapped in a whole thing. The word is Christ.
Right.
And with that, everything else makes sense.
You're welcome, Booster.
I'll be honest though, in his service, your voice commands attention. When you speak, it's like I gotta pay attention, or I might miss something. It might be different for other people, but for me, when I
Mm-hmm.
see age, I see wisdom, and you have to soak up everything
Mm-hmm.
that you hear because it's very important. You know, because I mean, I'll be honest, like. Uh, it's not many left. Like that's what people have
Whoa,
to take into
what?
account.
It was a woman that taught me. If you look up Christ Universal Temple,
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Coleman was a woman here that started a church with $1, and they said she couldn't do it. And we
One
built the
dollar.
church.
Come on now.
$1. They don't. We got a church. If you look online, you'll see Christ Universal Temple. We are of
Mm-hmm.
universal faith. We accept everyone of every creed into the faith, but it is a ministry calling. We are.
Mm-hmm.
It's inundated in us to go to our higher ground. We are part of the United Foundation for Better Living, which is worldwide. So, therefore, we do the work for better living. Our aim is to inspire, and we take that to a higher level. And when somebody is down, we just don't turn our back. We help lift them, and then we let go and let God. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a pastor,
Right.
it's a path, and it's ingrained in us that we know
Mm-hmm.
wherever we are, God is. This is something that is affirmed all the time. So we utilize this and affirm it. I think I think Lynette would know about Christ Universal Temple, but it's a woman's church, and
Okay.
it's a calling. It's not something that you're not a pastor. Reverend Derek Wells is our pastor.
Mm-hmm.
We just follow the creed.
So, okay, I get because I heard you earlier when you put CJ's name in the prayer, your little prayer box, and then you did the little thing with the spoon, I guess the crystal thing, and you said that's is it Buddhism? And then you talk about Christ, and then I just want to understand. So, are you
the,
just
the
like
religions, the
into?
religions, what we do is we can study different religions. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not universal means universal faith. That means that we identify with the other religions and we interweave doctrines that work for us or do not work. That's our choice. But
Oh, okay.
that doesn't mean I went to be Buddhist. It means that
Mm-hmm.
it's blanketed under universal faith, that we accept all these things because no matter what they are, as long as they go towards the spirit, they are towards the upper house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not a profession of being, I mean, if you say, I mean, I've studied Catholicism, I've studied Baptist,
Mm-hmm.
Baha'i faith. Baha'i faith is in Wilmette, that's over by Lynette. So when you talk about these faiths, it's not latching on to be a part and active in that specific church. It's just looking at the faith and taking what fits to help you grow to a greater spirituality.
So I have a question. Do you ever feel like saying, "Oh, this is that way," or I can kind of tap in with this. Do you feel like that could possibly cause confusion, or no?
No. The moment that I wake, I recognize that God woke me up.
Mhm.
So what I do is I follow my mind and what instructions that he gives for me or what I am to do in the day. I
Mhm.
don't I don't stick to a specific, or I'm not founded in any specific thing, because each day, what do they say? This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice in it. I
Right.
do know that I don't chase the negative, I chase the joy.
Mhm.
And if it blankets under me meeting somebody, I mean, I just had a conversation at dinner with Muslims. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily follow their faith, but I can respect them in their faith.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Mhm.
So it's not a, I will say this. Johnny Coleman coined this, and it came from her book, Open Your Mind and Open Your Eyes and Be Open Your Mind and Be Healed. And
Mhm.
she coined the phrase that says it works if you work it. What she says is, as your faith grows, your mental images change from bondage to liberty, from darkness to
Mhm.
light, from sickness to health, from poverty to abundance. The more
Mhm.
faith we practice, the more faith we have. This is the law of increase. Understand, faith is not something you have or do not have. The only choice is to use it or not. Now that's deep.
Mhm.
To use it. We have the power within ourselves. What she's saying is we have the power to choose and the decision to use it. We are not to lay down on it.
Mhm.
And this is something that has influenced my life since I was 6 years old. It doesn't, there's no, you don't.
What's up,
For us,
Cap?
it was to go out. It was to go out. It's a
Mhm.
calling. It's blessings bestowed. You are blessings bestowed. There is no absolutes in the theologies. There's nothing
Mhm.
that's absolute. One thing that's absolute to me is we all gonna make transition.
Mhm.
Now, what we do and make a mark while we're here matters. I always say this: you won't make CNN and you won't make MSNBC, but you will make a difference.
Right.
That's a fact. And we can't save the world. That's God's job. It's not
Mhm.
ours. So that's how I look at it. But I don't keep myself stagnated in my views because I know my job is to try to understand. That's all. I'm dealing with
Right.
my own issues, just like CJ. It doesn't give me a lot of time to be set in my ways because my health is evolving,
Mhm.
and where it's going, I don't even know. I just know that God's in charge of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And in the meantime, I got doctors down here on earth trying to give me 4 prescriptions one day and 2 more on another, and trying to keep me on a whole bunch of dope that I don't even agree with because my body is my temple. So I'm not going to
Mhm.
do that. I'm going to pray to God to heal me. That's what I'm going to do. So I guess,
Right.
Will, you're right. I am setting my ways as far as God is concerned.
Yep.
He's
No, no,
right.
it's I appreciate your outlook too and everything like that. I wish Chloe G hit the panel because she in the chat cutting up.
I love Koji. I love all of y'all. I guess I don't know. A lot of people are trying to gain understanding from what you're saying. Some people seem a bit confused.
I ain't
There's
confused.
nothing,
They
there's nothing to be confused about. I interweave various religions. The hardest one I've ever tried to study. Now, Net knows this. She knows about the University of Chicago. I meet with professors and doctors and stuff like that, and we sit down and talk about the theologies. But the hardest one I've ever tried to study, and I attempted to read it just to read it and try to
Mhm.
understand its meaning, was the Quran. The Quran is one of the hardest books to get through. It really is, because it's
Mhm.
very metaphorical. This to mean that. So I have
Yes,
it
it
here.
is. I was like, what? So what? You know? And
Now
honestly,
that's where you get lost.
I couldn't get through it because I didn't I just couldn't get through it. I went back to my Bible and Christ, and that's just what it is for me.
And how many
Yeah.
attempts did you make in reading that?
I think it was 2 or 3 weeks straight. I started out with the simple version. I think it's like maybe 40 or 50 pages. Then I got the actual Quran, and I started reading that. And I was like, no, this is just not. It's not. And I just talk to God about it. Like, God, am I wrong for doing more research in this area? Like,
Because I
I
tried to
want to
read it twice.
understand, like, I love Christ. I know Christ came to the world to, for our salvation. And I'm just trying to gain clear understanding, like, why people choose this. Or I have those talks where people are born into Buddhism, or people are born into the Islamic faith. And it's like, okay, if they were raised that way, just like I was raised on Christ, who's wrong? You get what I'm saying? If that's what you were taught. So I'm just like, God help me with this. Cause just like they may be looking at me like, well, I was taught like this. So, I just stick to what works for me, and I try to spread light as far as what God gives me. And it's always through the Holy Bible and me praying in Jesus' name. But I don't knock what anybody else does,
There it is. Say it again. No judgment on it. It just doesn't fit for where you are at in your life. Period.
Mhm.
You don't have
Yeah,
to
I
knock
was
it
my
down.
fault.
Well, I'm sorry, Willie. What'd you say?
Nah, you good, you good. El Tipo pressing that button. Listen, El, yo, El Tipo, we get it. I just, I just would like somebody to, either state why they don't understand it, or if you want to, what church do y'all go to? Put it in the chat. What churches do y'all go to? Are you Pentecostal? Are you Christian? Are you, I can't name all the other ones. I, just don't be a Jehovah's Witness. I'm not answering my door. I'm telling you right now.
Well, you know what? When you look at it all, whether we call it Yahweh, whether we call it Islamic, whether we call it whatever it is, it's still all blanketed on an entity that we respect, that has a high regard, that we are not supposed to understand all this. You can't answer the questions of the ages. They are left to God.
Mhm.
Let me tell you
It's just
something.
that
It's
simple.
Let me tell you something. It's like what you know is what you want to keep in your mind.
Mhm.
Like I'll be honest with you. I visited maybe two websites that I should have never been to. And now that I know that website exists, I'm I'm just humbled and I'm grateful for everything I see.
Mhm.
Like they pretty much you're gonna see just real life occurrences, real life situations, like no fairy tales, no folklore. It's just what you see. And a lot of this stuff is banned on the internet because it will disrupt, the natural flow of things and how it goes. So,
Mhm.
I'm just grateful that, everybody is allowed to participate in good. I believe in the good of everything. Me
Mhm.
personally, I don't go to church.
Mhm.
I'm not a religious Christian, and I've been to church in the past. I've been in the choir. I sung. I'm not a good singer. I just was a tenor, just a fill-in. But
Mhm.
for the most part, I realized once I seen the collection plate go around one time, that was it for me. Like I was like, all right, man, I'm trying to get some bubble gum, some juicy fruit after the service. You know what I'm saying? You breaking my pockets. And
See,
then
you allowed that to turn you away though, like.
no. I was a very observant kid. I trust me, I was a very observant. I seen
He's
past
got
it.
a point. He's got a great point because I experienced that one time at a church where a pastor was up on the stage and said, when the choir sings, we're doing a service for you. When I preach, I'm doing a service for you. And I didn't hear the other side of that equation. So it's one plus one is supposed to equal two. I feel like when I donate to you, I'm doing a service to you to allow you to keep the church running.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
That's
saying
true.
that the church exists within you. The only thing I'm real set in my ways about, Will, I don't eat with atheists. I will not
Mm-hmm.
break bread. Breaking bread to me and having a meal reminds me of soul food. Remember that movie Soul Food and you sat down
yeah,
with your family? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna sit down with somebody that wants to keep a whole dialogue about atheism. I don't have nothing against them, but I don't have nothing for them neither.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna allow them to change what my views are. How did I get this way? Remember, I said it before. I'm retired 20 years from Chicago police. And I'm telling you, I've seen the ugly of the ugly. But when you work around a whole bunch of men and work in that type of society, you in the cussing and this and that and the other. I got to a point I didn't like me. I wanted to be something else other than that. I didn't like who I had become. So
Mm-hmm.
I made a concerted effort to change my life. Am I perfect? No, not by a
Right.
long shot. But can I strive to be the best self of expression in godlike expression that I can? Yes. And is that hard to ascertain? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
yeah.
perfect person here. So let's be real.
No, yeah, there's definitely not a perfect person here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just, I mean, to me, when I look at people going to church, when I look at people participating in the word, it's good to see them not doing what the statistics shows us doing on a daily basis. You see,
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that people are coming together in a positive spirit. However, I don't like the intangibles that come with the church. People judge. People can be judgmental. It doesn't have to be vocal.
That's
It could be
true.
just
Mm-hmm.
body language wise. You know what I'm saying? You might go up. You might
And
walk
he's
around the
right.
church, go up to the front. They might.
He's right. I've had people when I come to church and I just call myself getting dressed for the warm and they feeling on my clothes. What is that? It's just
Mm-hmm.
a coat. It's just a coat. Remember one thing. There is no luggage in heaven and hell. You can't take none of this stuff with you. So be real on that.
True.
See, I
So
used to
why
see some. Okay, I'm sorry.
go ahead, do your thing.
No, no, I was just gonna say to add to what you were saying, piggyback. It kind of clicked for me when I started seeing the commercials like on BT, like when everything go off and they started showing those commercials, and I'll never forget the dude said like you don't got to be in church, to experience or to show your appreciation, for Christianity and stuff like that, or just Jesus, God, whatever you believe in. So you could do it from your own house. And then when I realized that, that's when I kind of was like, I don't need to go to church. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was just a big fashion statement. That was it.
That's true too.
That's some people in places like it's very common in the church community, but there are some good churches out here. There are genuine places that's not all about money and it's not all about fashion. Like some churches are actually teaching the word and they are after the saving of the souls. It's
Well, I
few
think
and
the
far
church got
between, you know.
I think the church got away from. I think some of the things in the church. One of them that kind of blew me was there was a drive with Bill Ministries, and I think Lynette knows about that one too. And he was talking about when it came to the back to school thing. Every year it's a back to school thing where everybody's donating books and this and that and the other, right? This man
Mhm.
had his own plane. He was retired from IBM Computer. I mean, he has all this stuff, and he turns around and tells us to go on Amazon and send the stuff to him so he can give the stuff out to the kids. Come
What?
on now. Come on now.
Yeah,
What are you what are-
that's
what are
kind
you
of.
what are you putting back in community to make us feel
Mhm.
home? Come on now. You gotta see where you gotta see the gimmick that's in there.
Hmm.
That's a gimmick right
No,
there.
I'm not. No, I'm
You
not
know,
telling
that's my
nobody not to
favorite. That's
believe.
my mama's
Yeah.
favorite scripture. Ain't it, sis?
Yeah, I just want to clear
Ooh-wee.
this up. Whatever you believe in, cool. If you like it, I love it. Cool. But
Exactly.
my thing is, it's just that I didn't need. I just didn't feel that I didn't have that void, like I needed to be surrounded by people to celebrate the same thing or to
Mhm.
believe in the
Exactly.
same thing. Like it was just a little bit too much. Like it's a lot of I'm not I ain't gonna say
No,
too
you
much.
don't have to go to church. Like, it's not. That's not the main thing. The main thing is getting a relationship with God, however He talks to you, and however He speaks to you. It's not the church can't save you.
No,
Thank
I
I
know
get
you.
that.
it.
Yeah,
I get
I
it.
understand that.
So
I
all of
mean,
As
I
long as
yeah, guys.
as long as you do believe, that's
Mhm.
that's paramount. That's the driven point right there. You got to believe. What do they say? You
Hey,
got to believe. As
people.
the pointer sister said, that you got to believe in something.
Yeah, I
So
believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe in the good. Whatever is good. When I see good, like when I see people giving clothes off their back to people on the streets without holding their phones out, giving money to them without holding their phones out, acts of
Mhm.
kindness, like general, just like out of like one time I walked into a fast food chain. I didn't need that
Mhm.
food. I didn't need it. Walking. Then I just see somebody on the ground, like on the ground. That's it. Feet dirty, rock bottom. I just gave him the whole thing. Just walked
I
Mhm.
away.
did that too. And my husband asked me, why was I feeding that? I said, how you know that ain't God? Because
That's
God can
Right.
it.
manifest himself in any kind of way. How do you know it ain't God? And that's the point. The point is that what we do in between, we will be judged by. And I say, I still allude back to the same principle. Is it good enough for God? And if it
Mhm.
is, then I can sleep at night. I can sleep at night. That's what's important.
Right.
So when you look at it from that perspective, you still continue to do the work. And I mean, I feel like this. We all have blueprints that we came into this earth to do certain things. And that's why
Mhm.
people on certain levels doing certain things. But when we give back, the hand is open. It's open to give and it's open to receive. And those are the blessings. And that's what I call raining from heaven. That's
Right.
all I need to know. I don't have to, there's no slate for me to sit in because I went to college, whether I go to heaven or hell. There's no slating here.
Yeah,
It's
I
just,
knew that. I knew there was a greater good when I was a kid. I was in church and a man caught a seizure in church. Like
Mhm.
right when everybody was letting out. Like nobody knew this. Nobody, he was invited. You know what I'm saying? He never been to the church, so I'm guessing with all the loud clapping and
Mhm.
the drums and like just because sometimes a pastor may be in his mode and then next thing you know he may want a selection from the choir. So those sudden impulses I guess triggered him, and he was all right. He was all right. He
now
didn't.
here
Yeah.
for the tea, here for the tea said this. I'd rather give to the homeless than pay tithes to the church. She's right because the homeless need it.
Mhm.
She's right. I mean, you're giving to the church, but you're wondering why the church is not feeding their community. She's right.
I mean, and don't get me wrong too. There's
Some
times
churches
I've been in
do
there.
though.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I get what she's
yeah.
saying. I definitely agree, and I understand why she feels that way because a lot of churches are just sucking up the money and spending it on themselves and what they want. But there are a few churches out here that really care about the community.
Yes, they exist, but I'm saying the larger churches seem to be on what exactly T is saying. I don't see them doing anything within the community. In their community, they're surrounded by people that are struggling. That
Mhm.
she's right. She's got a very valid point here.
She does.
She's right.
Love you too,
Lynette is right
Michelle.
about that. They're riding around with BMWs in the church, get water problems.
And
She's
that's
right.
just such a generalized statement, right? Because not every pastor is
She
riding
saw your
around like
picture.
that, right? If we're talking about large, okay, so let's just be clear. I go to a small congregation. I don't go to a larger church. I don't know how the larger churches operate. However, the small churches that I associate myself with, do not operate in that manner. The churches that I affiliate with, they're out in the community. They're giving to the homeless. They're feeding the community. They're
Mhm.
all of these acts of benevolence. So it really irks me when people make generalized statements. And this is why and it's so sad, because as Christians, when we put this out there into the atmosphere, you have
Mhm.
people that are listening to us, that are watching us. And if a Christian is saying that, why would a person that don't believe, like, why would they sit there and want to learn about something, or a person of Jesus, uh, talking about Jesus, when the people that are talking about him, they have so much negativity to say about the church, and so it's frustrating to hear, because you never know who's listening. You never know. You just have to be mindful and careful of what you say, because you just never know who's listening, and who you might deter from believing in God. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, there are pastors out there that are doing these things, that are
Right.
taking money from the church. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is, but not all pastors are like that. Not all congregations operate in that manner. And so I just wish that when people talk about those things, that they emphasize that, instead of making it a generalized statement, because it's a bad look on us as
Yeah.
Christians.
I know my sister, she said not saying all. My
Right.
bad.
If you take that in a unit of measure, nothing is all. It never
And
is.
I know my sister's story personally. Like she been through it. We've been through the mud. So yeah, and she processes things differently. So it's like, no, this my viewpoint. I get it, you know. But there are still some good churches out there. Like my church, for example, they are the most giving and the most loving, and they care about your soul. And the church that I'm at, like I'm around a lot of people that are full of wisdom, a lot of older people, and I have learned so much. I just thank God, because I was in a place where I was like, man, I'm through. The church just a game. A lot of it is. The church is just a business. No, but God sent me to the right place at the right time where people genuinely care. There are good people out here. Like there are good church people out here that really want to build you up, want to make sure your spirit good, and they not begging you for $1 every time they see you. And I thank God for that, because I was starting to feel away, you know?
Right. And I will say this too about the tithing. Tithing is a spiritual principle that the Bible speaks on. And so, with that being said, like, we as the person giving, because what does God say? He loves a cheerful giver. Like, we shouldn't have that attitude of, oh, like, well, when I give my money to the church, I want to know where every dollar is going. Like, no, when you give your money from your heart for what you giving it for, like, God is gonna bless you, irregardless to what those people do with, or how they allocate those funds. So if they choose to do something that they're not supposed to be doing with that funds, they have to answer to God. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Now,
They
if
Hmm.
have
you
to
need
answer
so
to God,
if,
but
if
Now
you
hold
I
on,
if,
love this girl because she's right. The
hold
if
on,
intent,
you're
what
because
she's
they
saying
have
is
to
when she
answer.
released
Hold
it,
on,
she had no
because
intent.
so let me say this, because, and I'm not saying all, but like 70, I'm gonna say 70% of churches, we work hard for our money, right? And
Hmm.
we get from the heart. We're not asking you to tell us where every dollar go. But if I see you pulling up in BMWs and there's a homeless person sitting right in your audience, and they sitting in their prayer and they asking for help, and you can't help them. There's
Hmm.
a kid sitting over there hungry with their parent, and you know they ain't got it, but you can't help them out of all of this money you collecting in this church. I have been through so many churches. You can't pay
Hmm.
me to walk into nobody church now, because why? I work hard for my money and I'm a cheerful giver. I give from the heart, because God says come as you are, and God says give what you can. So If I see you all head to toe, you and your
Mhm.
wife and kids stepping in here, head to toe, new car, you just got a new car, but your church got a hole in the ceiling.
Mm.
Your bathroom ain't put together. Where all the money going, sir,
Mhm.
ma'am?
Are you saying
So
talking to
we're
me?
not questioning where our money is go. We're not questioning where every dollar is going. But if I see that,
I have no
like,
audio.
what you want me to think?
Mhm.
We here in church, you supposed to help. If your congregation going through things and they study sitting in prayer, needing the help, and they study putting their money into this church, and you're not helping,
Mhm.
I don't see you out here passing out food to the homeless. I don't see you out here helping when the school it's time for school to start. I don't see you out here going, to being helpful in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
So then you start questioning, where's the money going? Because I see you passing that bucket
But you would
around every
stress
Sunday.
yourself out worrying about all of that all the time, you know?
And that's why I don't worry. I step out of the church
Mhm.
because that's not a church for me.
I mean, I
I hear
can
y'all
respect
side
how
talking. I hear the
I
side
feel.
talking. That's not a church for me. I want to be in a place where everybody's happy and you you win my soul over, and you're for God. You preaching where I can, I feel it. I feel the love,
Mhm.
and we all in here together learning about God, and
Mhm.
we giving back to the community, and we making sure those homeless people not homeless no more because we helping them. We giving and we loving.
What she's
I
saying is we're
understand.
doing it the right way. So I get what she's saying, and the other lady that's below, I agree with her wholeheartedly because she's right. If you give with the right intent, and the other thing is, I sat here today and I had a revelation, and the
Mhm.
revelation I had was one thing and one thought that God imprinted in my mind. He doesn't print the ideas; that's where they come from. Jesus was poor. He was born in a manger and he was poor.
Mhm.
Abundance, when it's something connected with the church when they try to tell you abundance, be your best, look your best, have your best, the BMW and everything else that you're alluding to. That's not abundance. Could be greatness in character, greatness in kindness.
In
Does it
health.
always
It should
translate right?
be
Does it
joy.
always
It should be
translate to a
all of that.
tangible? Right. Does it translate to a tangible item? I don't agree with that concept either. So, I understand where she's coming from. I've questioned that myself. And that's why I said, instead of me pulling myself to try to get into a church, I created church at home because I realized I got to an evolution within my own spirituality that church is within me. And
It
that
is.
yeah, I just pull it out within me and I get on my knees in my home,
Mhm.
on my knees before I recognize that my Sacred Heart of Jesus is the symbol of a statue. But
Yep.
I had it blessed and I still get on my knees and I'm bone on bone knees and I pray.
It's Christmas.
Just
I
pray.
got the child. You don't. But two, you know, I pray at home too. I stopped going. I didn't went. When I say I didn't went to every religion, and I didn't went to different churches, and I hear them. Oh no, you give this amount. No, like you don't tell me how much to put in church.
Mhm.
What you mean?
What
You got
about
to
the
put more than
10%
$20?
though? The 10%.
I go.
That's
I go
what
with the
God asked.
10%. I go with the 10%. But when you
Oh, so
start
that's
telling
what
me
I
I
was
got to
talking
give
about,
more
the
than
10%.
$20,
Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about, the tithing part. Yeah, but as
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
far as
Yeah.
the
Okay,
people
but
getting up
in the
there,
tithing, if you ain't got nothing, you got 10% of nothing.
right?
Sometimes
go ahead,
people go to
Kiko.
church and they go for the word and they're going for
Mm-hmm.
the doctrine, but then they might be struggling in their own financial life. They shouldn't have to feel any type of emotion whether they could tithe or not. God knows your heart. And if you
Mhm.
don't have it, you just don't have it at that time.
Exactly. Because if
Right.
I
Right.
give $1, you better appreciate that dollar. What you telling me? Oh no, not $1. You better take
Right.
my
There's,
dollar.
right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no scale for that. If that's all she had, that's all she had. But she should be able to go to church if she ain't got but a penny in there. You can't
Right.
get 10% of a penny. Because then there's nothing. Then she gives away the last penny, she has nothing.
Exactly.
It's what we do. I think what the consensus is here, and if I'm wrong, please feel free to tell me. I think that we've all gravitated to a point, evolved to a point that we know that it does exist within us, and we practice our spirituality from our framework.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can give her 10%, doesn't mean that she has to give 10% to the church, or if she sees somebody on the street that says they can't eat, or she offers them a ride, her 10% is still given that way. It's not necessarily monetary.
Right.
I've given strangers a ride that are stuck in at the bus stop, and old ladies and stuff like that. Does that count for 10%? I believe it does.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's service. Anyway, you can give with your time.
Right. Your time is service.
Mm-hmm.
And God, the cheerful giver, he loves a cheerful giver. Giver is a blanketed word. He didn't say, I love a cheerful giver and money only.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist. That's unrealistic to me. All right. I'm not holding on to my money. I'm still driving a 2006 car with 170,000 miles because it's still going. I don't have to be in a brand
Okay.
new car. Who said so?
Exactly.
Who said so? I just take care of my car and pray that Goldie, I call her Goldie. I pray that Goldie gets me from point A to point B.
I know that's
Okay.
right.
I pray that
Why do we do
Goldie will
that?
get me
We
up
give
there
out
by
we
Six
name our
Flags.
cars.
Yeah,
We
I pray that Goldie will get me up there to Six Flags. But I don't run into no store that I know they're gonna loo jack me because I got to be in a BMW. And here's the thing about that: all them cars are made of plastic. That's why they're tearing up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make them like they used to, where they could take a hit.
where
So
is that?
I'm gonna go buy something and put it on the road. Now I'm styling and profiling. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, y'all, but that's bullshit. Just
From the
bullshit.
earth.
Yeah.
I can't get with that. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
never talk to people that are thought provocative. And Mo, I'm going to say this: you created this channel, and this is God given too.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't create this. You could have created a channel on cooking or this and that and the other. God told you to create this channel, and this is why we're on here discussing these things. He wants us to see it simple. You remember that formula: keep it severely simple.
Right.
The KISS method. He wants us
Mm-hmm.
to see it simple because Jesus Christ was born poor and in a manger. And he's saying that with that, for 33 years, he did great things. So what is he telling us? You can too.
Right.
But I agree. I'm tired of seeing all this riding in planes. They got airplanes,
Mm-hmm.
boats. What the heck? Come on now. And you know what? Not only that, I don't know. I couldn't be a pastor doing all that. Um, I would use my money if I won the lottery. I would still give. It's not to be,
Absolutely.
it's not to be hoarded.
Hey
Mm-hmm.
And
Michelle.
and I'm scared of God. I don't want to hoard the money because now I done got into something I shouldn't even be in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared God will strike me down for being what? Greedy.
But what do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
do when, okay, just say like if the congregation is just so massive, just say if you have a congregation of 10,000 people and everybody gives $20 every service, what if God does bless them abundantly? and they just got it like that, and they can afford to buy
If they can
nice
give
houses
it.
and nice cars.
But sis, that's because they can give that $20 every service. But if they can't, you can't force them to give
No, I'm
twenty
saying, but
dollars that
what?
they
Okay,
don't have.
let's say if it's a church of 15,000 members and everybody give $2, they still gonna have a lot of money because their congregation is so big. So are we right? Are we kind of pushing it by being mad at them for having so much money? Like, you get what I'm saying? Or where's what's the issue in it? Like, it's not always
It's
just.
supposed
And
to
that's
be some
okay.
sort of structure in it. Like I get, like I get what everybody's saying. Like, yeah, but if I'm in the church, yes, I want to know where money is going because time is money. So if I'm working for my hard-earned dollar and then I come into the church and you promising things like a place for the kids in the neighborhood to come to and be safe, just sanctuary, just in general, improving the church. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be cold in the winter. I don't want to be hot in the summer. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, and also not only that, just outside of the community, like there has to be some. Like to me, I feel like if there was some sort of goal, if they had like a big poster put up there, like you remember back in the day on the TV, they used to have fundraisers, and then the bar would go up as they get towards their goal. Like
Mhm.
I believe it should be like that because then it shows the growth within the black community because it just if we just gonna keep giving money, giving money, giving money, then next thing you know, 2, 3 years later, the church is closing down. Where did all the money go?
Mm.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
I think that in these turbulent times, I think the church should play a more prevalent role as far as why do we have Marianos and different stores giving food to the needy when in the church I don't see that drive. All I'm saying is that's what broke me away from it. You know, if you collect like you said, Mo, 15,000 people at $2 a piece, that's $30,000 every Sunday. Okay. So
Mhm.
the money can still be pro-allocated to help within the community, to take a list of family names of people that are needy, that you can do
Mhm.
that and maintain the church too.
Sis,
I'm
where are
just
you
saying,
going?
It'd be all right. Hey, to
Hold
each his own.
on.
Everybody has their
Yeah,
opinion.
hold on. But I've been trying to figure that out too. Michelle, I thought you said that I don't know, I guess tried to apologize to my sis. I don't even know what happened with y'all. Um, I saw Michelle in my chat a few weeks ago and we were fine, but I hear that she blocks a lot of people. So what's up with that? And then like sometimes she'll ask me to drop the link, but she's the only one that can't never see the link when I drop it. So I don't know.
I
Yeah,
want to say
yeah,
before I forget
just my
this
fault.
that maybe that's where the congregation starts to use their voice, right? And
Mhm.
and they start speaking up to say, "Hey, we want to see this happening. Hey, how come we're not seeing it?" Like I said, when it comes to my church, I can only speak for what I see going on in the where I worship at, and that's I think that's why I speak so passionately about it because everything that you guys are saying we do. You get what I'm saying? If a person come in and say that
Mhm.
they need help paying their light bill, guess what? They're going to get help, and
Mhm.
we're a small local congregation, but we do our best to help the community. We do our best to feed the community, like, and so I say all that to say, because we have church business meetings.
Mhm.
We see every year again, like how what is his name, Willie, and then not all churches operate like this. I get it, but my church, every year the financial secretary has a list of every dollar that has been given to the musician, given to the
Mhm.
pastor, given to the benevolent offering. If somebody goes to the hospital, we collect the offering for benevolence and we give it to that family. If somebody's family member died, we collect the offering, we give it to that
Mhm.
family. We're helping do repasses. You get what I'm saying? And so
That's how it's supposed to go. Yep.
that's
and
what
so
I was
therefore
going to say.
I'm so
That is spot
passionate
on because
about
what
it.
her church is doing is allocating for the needy. It's taking its
Right.
total sum and
Eh,
prorating for them to do that kind of work. We're just saying that we feel that on a wider scale, these churches that are abundant need to do thus the same. She's
Right.
right.
Exactly.
Right. That's where
Chico,
that's
that's
when I
your
say that
church.
the
I
members
can't.
need to, that's why the members need to step up, and they need to use their voice to say, hey, how come we're not doing X, Y, and Z? But maybe
Mhm.
that's not the members priority either. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so you have to find
Exactly.
a place that is that is like-minded, that's something that you're looking for. So if you're looking for a church that does benevolences, that go out into the community, then you go look, ask God to lead you to that edifice, right? But if you into the fashion show, if you into being at the popping church where they on the
Mhm.
TV, then hey, let whatever floats your boat. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? And so you just
Mhm.
have to use your best wisdom, your best discernment in finding and asking God to lead you to where it'll be a best fit for you.
Right.
Right. But the
I
best
ain't
part of
heard of a
it is,
church like that in years. In years.
And they
I
out there,
well,
haven't.
Lynette, and
Yeah,
they
it
out
probably
there.
is, but I didn't gave up. I'm my own church.
I
Me and
respect
God
that
got our
too.
own connection.
well, even if we don't know of, like I said, in measure, nothing is all. What she's saying,
Mhm.
her church, even though it's a small church, is doing the work. And that is
And that's
commendable.
good.
I
But
love
what we
And
that.
if
said
I do come to California, I would love to visit your church because
Mhm.
that's the work
exactly.
of God. That's the work of God. Now, I said this. I have went to many churches trying to find a home for myself. And when I see all of this, I'm like, no, like you, oh, you need a button up shirt on. No, God said, come as you are.
Mhm.
Oh, you can't come in here with them blue jeans on. God said, come as you are.
That is absolutely true.
And
You
you
know, like,
definitely could come into our church with whatever. I mean, we've had homeless people come in and reach
Mhm.
odor. You get what I'm saying? But nobody is turning them away. Nobody's making them get up and leave. Nobody's trying to make them feel no certain kind of way. Now, granted, if somebody do come in with like a little too little skirt on or something, then the usher might go and grab a little something to cover up
A
their
little
leg.
break.
yeah, I
Yeah.
That,
love a church like that.
but
And
Mhm.
when the
outside of
homeless
that, no,
people
yeah,
come in, they like pull them to the side, help take them to the back, let them look bathe and put them on some clean clothes. That's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
Not talk about them, scooting to the side and moving benches.
Or
Right.
make them feel lower than what they already feel. You're supposed to lift them.
That's
Lift them.
true.
It's not, it's, if it is, bring them to the forefront. But it ain't like that no more. It used to be back in the day.
I think, and we stopped looking at the church as a hospital, right? Because
Mhm.
the fact of the matter is we all in need. We all need help. We need
Hmm.
a savior, and so just like my what I might be going through might be a different look of what you, Lynette, might be going through, or what a person coming off the street might be going through. But we all coming because we all need help. We all need God,
Yes. And
and
if I'm
so
scared to
Absolutely.
come up to the altar and lay my things out on the altar,
Mhm.
then what that says about that church? Because you're supposed to feel comfortable.
Mhm.
You're supposed to be able to go up there and just let it all out for God.
It's
I
supposed
I
to
I
be
want to come up
embracing.
there and I
Right.
want to get prayed on, but I feel your negative energy.
You know what I
I
used to
need
hate about
prayer.
this is something I experienced a lot in churches and across the board, not any particular one. There's nothing worse to me than a pastor that gets up and says, y'all sinners and y'all need to come to Christ and y'all need, well, okay, I'll accept that. But why don't you call yourself one too?
Yeah, I don't
Exactly.
mess well with churches like that where they're beating the members down. I don't. I can't.
Hmm.
That's a turn off for me. I'm like, I'm gone. Because when the pastor can't realize, I mean, you're separating yourself like you're holier than thou, and no one is holier than thou. We're all human. We're not perfect. So,
Right.
you're gonna sit here every Sunday and drill me, then I need to save my soul. How do you know I haven't already done that?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Got issues with that. So there's certain things that evolved. Again, a general consensus is that there's certain things that evolved that broke us all away, that were turnoffs for us. And we just got into our own thing and recognized that it's what our spirituality that guides us and leads us. Because if we're making these choices on what we see, we out of here.
Right.
We're not
Close
buying
you. Not about to play with you.
And I guess
that.
what helps me is that, I have to always, because the fact of the matter is it's so easy for us to point fingers at people, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we have to come to the realization that every man is going to have to take account for every action, every word, everything that they have
Mhm.
done or said
Right.
that was not, of God. Everybody's going to
Mhm.
stand before that righteous judge. And so
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? So it behoves us to focus on self versus
Mhm.
putting the spotlight on other people and oh,
Mm-hmm.
look at what they doing, look at what they doing. No, what are you doing?
That
What are
is
you
so
doing to build
true.
yourself up and to make sure that you get up in there? You get
And
what I'm saying?
God has
Right.
been dealing with me with that, like I gotta practice what I preach, and um you get what I'm saying? Like I just want to be a better
Mhm.
me, even when it comes to like maybe saying stuff, because I'm like, girl, that was just a month ago. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely
Mhm.
we have to make sure we are in right standings with God, because God ain't going you ain't gonna get called to God and be like, so what so and so do? No, it's you and God. You gotta answer for yourself. It ain't you answering for them. So I'm trying to get my walk
Right.
right.
Facts.
You want to
Mhm.
encourage those. You want to be a light, but we got to
But
make sure
again,
our
who are
souls
we
are
to
intact.
judge and who are we to judge and who is perfect?
I got
Nobody.
a question for all of you all that anybody can answer it, but I experienced this and this was a turn off for me. But I just want to
Mhm.
know what you all think. All right, we give every Sunday or whatever we can give, right? We try to
Mhm.
follow that code. But every year that we have the pastor that has an anniversary, his anniversary of being the pastor of the church,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
we all supposed to line up and take gifts before him. Now I think that's messed up.
Mm.
Uh,
Giving
Why?
them giving them money and this and that. I'm saying that he is, you know, the pastor before then, Johnny Coleman never had that.
Mhm.
She was
mhm.
her own strength. So she didn't need you to come before her and lay gifts before her while he sits up there on the stage.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they asked me to do that one year, and I didn't know what I was getting into, but that was the only year I did it because I'm not standing in no line to lay no gifts of my hard-earned money at his feet when he already got a Mercedes Benz. This man
Mhm.
stands on stage with Louis Vuitton. Come on now.
Mhm.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
so I guess I'll go first, right? All right. So I'm going through a whole transition. We have a new pastor, but before this pastor, my aunt was the pastor, but she passed away. And so I was with her. I worked really close with her, and I watched her.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'll never have a pastor like that ever again. She would get out of her sick bed to go and be with somebody at the hospital if they was having surgery, whatever. If you call her and ask for prayer, like she was really there, like she sacrificed her own health, I feel,
Mhm.
for other people. You get what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so so she always taught me that, to have a job. Pastors are supposed to have their a job, but you have a lot of pastors that look at ministry as a job. You
Right.
get what I'm
Yes.
saying? But she didn't walk in that light. She had her own income, And granted, the church gave her a love offering when she brought the message on Sunday, but it was nothing extreme. You get what I'm saying? And
It wasn't forced.
so yes, so by that happening, we did have appreciation service because of how to show our appreciation for how she was so sacrificial for our church, for our, I mean, she would go to every graduation for the kids. She was at every baby's being born. Like, she died the year that I had Taylor. She died like 2 months before I had my daughter, and I was in the labor room crying my eyes out, blood pressure sky high, because all I could think about is she would have been here, And so I say she gave of herself, and you don't get too many people like that, pastors. You get
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? And so that was a time where the congregation would come together, and they would, if they felt inclined to do so, shower her with gifts or give a love offering. You get what I'm saying? And so, but it wasn't something forced, and let me be honest with you. She would collect a lot of money. The church would collect a lot of money, and they would put it in the envelope and they would give it to her. And it used to be like over $15,000, right? And when I tell you, she would take this money, and I watched her turn around and buy hams for the community. I watched her take this money and take kids of the church and of the community to places they ain't never been before, like, Universal Studios and Magic Mountain. And I mean, she was always giving. So again, when I speak so passionately about the church, I've seen something so different than a lot of other people have.
Okay, so she gave it. What she did was take the money, and money is good when it's put to a greater good use.
Right.
I'm saying that in this appreciation, I was inducted into this, not knowing its concept, and this is something that and I mean, I just have a problem with pastors that put their house up and they in a big house on Facebook and all this other stuff. They showing how they live, and I mean, sometimes when you get into the word abundance, I'm telling you, some people in churches attach that to money.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
abundance is
Yeah,
not
and Chipo,
necessarily
they ask you to give one for the tithes, one for the offering, and one for the pastor.
right. So
Mm.
what you're telling me is that your aunt is that, did I get that right? Your aunt?
She was the
Uh,
pastor. Uh-huh.
okay. Your aunt knew to take the money and help it along. That's a big
Pay it
difference.
forward.
I
Mm-hmm.
would
That
pay it
is a big
forward. That's
difference.
exactly.
God
But
bless
I'm
and rest her
saying,
soul.
Oh yeah.
right, and I'm saying Lynette knows that there are churches here that don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They pocket it forward.
Yeah.
They give
Yes,
you
they
the
Mm.
do.
time. Okay,
And you
Lynette,
know how
let's talk
back in
about
the day they used to take the kids out on like, take the kids
Yes.
out and do stuff for the kids and like make the kids feel safe in the summertime. They don't do that no more. They
right.
don't
And
do it no more. They don't pay it for it. They ain't doing it like your aunt, taking it and doing good with it, buying turkeys and hams and you know, like,
right. Now,
and
Lynette, you know
all of
about
this money was
apostolic,
put into
right?
the church, huh?
You know about apostolic church of God, right? When Brazier
Y-
died, they had a big out time war up in there. They in the church having a war
Because
about
they
who
knew
will
all of that money was put into that church, but where's the help?
Mm.
exactly. I'm telling you
What
that.
did y'all
I'm
do
telling
with
you,
all of this money?
right. That's all
Y'all
we
ain't
saying.
helping
We're not
nobody.
right. They helping themselves, and
Yep.
that's
We
why I
got
got
so many.
turned
When I
off.
say we got so many churches in Chicago, and it's so many homeless people, there should
Hmm.
not be a homeless person on the street because we got so many churches that collects all of this money.
Yep.
And what about House of Hope, Lynette? Remember that House of Hope was over there, and I didn't even know. I went to one Christmas Eve service, and I didn't even know that was. I can't remember his name, but he was up there,
I
and
done heard
he
of
was
House of Hope too.
Yeah, but he was a senator. He was a senator before he became before House of Hope was. Now his hand was in the kitty jar because right next door to him, he instead of him saying no, we're not going to have a strip joint next door to us, he got paid under the table and they built a strip joint right next to his church.
What?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm saying this stuff goes weird, and you can't explain why it is, but it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying that for them to do that. And that happens in all of these churches. When Johnny Coleman died, they had a fight about who was going to precede her, the old versus the young. It gets weird, and the parishioners don't want to be a part of that. We didn't come to church for that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't air your dirty laundry out where it gets out. Just have your infight. That's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have to know it. It distorts for us to see that we're coming to a church and they cussing each other out and saying "f you itch."
Mm-hmm.
That ain't cricket by a long shot. That's not cricket. That's not what its intent is to be. So
And
when you
then
get
here it
found,
is. They traveling across the world for Women's Month, and then the kids, if when they come to Bible study, and you know the kids for summer camp, it they sitting in the hot church with no air.
Mm.
and then what about when you have a problem? You may just gone to them for a problem that you have. They try to turn you into like you are a serious problem when it's just a problem you dealing with. You
And give
asking them
you
to help
and
you
then
deal
giving
through
you
it.
other outlets. How about
Yeah.
I sit in this church every Sunday seeing y'all collect money, but here it is, you giving me other sources?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
here. Let me give you a referral to a psychologist. What? I didn't come to you for that.
Right.
Well, let me send you to so and so for help down there at the Secretary of State or somewhere where
Mm-hmm.
they just send you off. Like, where I remember when there was churches who helped you find a dirt cheap car
Mm-hmm.
Put
because
your
you
life
said you
back
couldn't get
together.
around with your
That's right.
kids. I
Preach
remember
it,
when they
man.
took time to help you find an apartment because you said you about to lose your apartment, because
Mm-hmm.
your landlord is a slum lord. I remember when there was people coming in there hungry and they helped them get food,
Or they
bought
had a
them
soup kitchen,
groceries.
or they had their own soup kitchen where
Exactly.
they was feeding them.
Mm-hmm.
That don't exist no more here. Chicago has turned into a
I
beast.
remember when
That's
after
all I'm gonna say.
service you was able to go sit in the back, and everybody ate together. You one plate at a time. Don't
And
take
they
too
don't have
many.
that at all. Go ahead. Go on, girl. She ain't lying.
Where's the
Mm-hmm.
communion? We ain't drinking wine no more. We ain't eating the
Why
little
ain't we holding
cornbread, the little
hands?
bread, the little piece of bread no more. Where is it?
Right. We're not
You
holding
can't
hands.
afford
The
that.
fellowship ain't there. The fellowship ain't there. She's
You
right.
gotta
Mm-hmm.
bring your own baptism clothes. I remember when they had the little gowns for you to put it on. What size you wear? Oh, okay. Get her that gown right there. What happened to that?
Mm-hmm.
Now you gotta get prepared to get baptized. You gotta get prepared to baptize your little baby. All of Christian get do the Christian of your baby. Like what happened? But y'all sitting here collecting all of this money every Sunday, and then you show up with a BMW, a Chrysler. You got a new home. You moving in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
Or what about the clicks, Lynette? The who's who. You ask the pastor
Y'all
to
are
go
going
visit.
in.
You ask the pastor to go visit your husband because he's
They,
having surgery, and you trying to pray and get through all this stress, and you're not on the who's who list, so he don't make it over
Oh,
there.
you the
Come
prayer list.
on now.
they making me appreciate my church.
Me too.
Yes, appreciate your church because I swear if I ever.
Let me be all honest with you. So again, like I said, we got a new pastor, and
Mhm.
granted, our church is still doing, a lot of the things that we implemented when my aunt was alive.
Mm-hmm.
Now my problem lies, and I haven't been to church in a couple of months, and that's my problem, but anyhow, and I had to check myself because it's like I became fixated on the pastor and what he was doing. Like, okay, you've been at the church for a year, now what? Like, I keep hearing you make references of what my aunt did or how she led the church or how she was doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, now you're here. What are you gonna do? Now, granted, like I said, we still pass out turkeys and baskets and toys and everything. We still do Juneteenth celebration for the community. We do an Oktoberfest for the kids, to give them something to do, if they don't want to trick or treat or whatever the case may be. And so the members are still carrying that out, but I don't see him working. And so that's a problem for me because I feel like as a leader in leadership, you should be setting the example. You set the tone. And so
well, I guess we're deficient, aren't we, Lynette? Because we don't have a Juneteenth in none of these prevalent churches here. They ain't practicing that. Okay, so I'm telling you again, we live in urbanization, and that word is obsolete. There's no Juneteenth here.
Yeah, they don't do all of that stuff at the
right.
churches.
Juneteenth is in Washington Park, where they have
Not even Oktoberfest.
Right. Right. So we you know what, Lynette, we are deficient like a mug here. She just made us realize how low on the totem pole we really are. These are big churches worth 220 million, 50 million.
And when I
we
say they
still
got
low on
some
the
big
totem pole.
churches out here, oh my God, yes, but yeah, Cheapo, you blessed.
Yep, Cheapo, you are blessed. Because if you come here, you will be back on a plane leaving. This is you don't want no part of this. Okay? You really don't. And we got to sit up here and make it make sense when we know it concretely does not make sense. That's the bad part about it. Ain't no holier than thou. And then you got the church don't realize they say we in this. If we all in this together, then it's time for you at this particular point to help the needy. This is bad here.
I have the best idea. Everybody just gone, grab hands, and join the Church of My Love. Boom. Virtual.
Right. And what about this, Lynette? Why aren't they even having classes about teaching our kids how to prevent being in situations that can appear to be violent, to help them save their own lives? They're not even having a platform on that. This is a beast out here, and I stay in. I go no further than my front porch and my backyard. I create the aesthetics around me.
I stopped going to church. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. I stopped going to church. I pray and me and God, I have our own thing going on. I'm a believer in God, and I walk by faith
You got God in your heart. That's what matters.
Yes.
Lynette, I'm gonna give you a joke. We'd rather go to Great America.
I sure will go great.
If we
go
gonna
right
ride
to
the
Great
roller
America,
coaster,
then
we
they
rather
go into
ride
one
the
of
roller
these
coaster.
churches. Because I'm telling you, they be in there flirting with
What's Great America?
lady. Six
It's
Flags
an
Great
amusement
America.
park. We saying that church is so amusing with this BS here that we rather go to Great America.
It's an amusement park. You never been to Six Flags Great America in Texas?
I've been to Six Flags, in Arlington.
Yeah, so we got one here. I live close to Six Flags. But yeah, they flirt with the women in the church, the pastors. They giving you them fake hooks. We was just talking about this. What Sunday that just passed?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they doing all of that. I didn't see all of that. Then you got one church that's full of drug addicts. They sitting there playing the drums and in the audience, and I just, but God, don't judge nobody. We not here to judge. But they collecting their money. Are they trying to help them get help? No, they not trying to help them. But if they allow them to come in there high every Sunday without helping them getting help.
That's what I'm saying. Now, Lynette, have you seen them people standing on the corner that's beating them little buckets, them teenagers that done dropped out of school? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'ma say this. I flatly don't give them some money. You know what I tell them? I say, you want a tip? And they say, yeah. I say, go back to school. This is
Mm.
short-term money. It's not going to
Mhm.
lead you to anything. It's only money
But
you
you
want
know
for a
what?
day. And we need that in our community so the Black community can survive.
Right.
But you know what? Them bucket bangers be making hella money.
Don't they?
Hmm.
Full-time job. So, I'm glad Lynette from Illinois, because she know just what this is. We're not
Mhm.
kidding about it. We're not creating any illusions. Yes, we would like to find a place where we can rest our soul in a public place of worship, but there are many here that don't. That your 70%, where we saying nothing is an all. We're saying we got 60 to 70% that's playing foul,
Mm.
Yeah.
and that's
And
what
I done
got
been
us away from the
baptized
church.
twice.
You been
I done been
baptized
baptized.
twice?
Yes.
Okay.
I baptized at one church and then I didn't feel, you know, you can feel. I just didn't feel like it was right, and I went to another one.
Mhm.
Um,
It's
yeah,
supposed to be
it's
welcoming. It's supposed to be welcoming that we can embrace it and we
yeah.
feel comfortable in our own skin going there. But when you
Right.
can't feel comfortable in your own skin going there, or somebody
Hmm.
saying something or slighting you, it doesn't allow you to embrace it. You like, what did I come here for? What did I do this
Yeah.
for? And
Yep.
you just go. I don't have
I
anything
used to
against
praise
being.
dance and every. I used to praise dance and everything. I said I was gonna dig
I
my
still
praise
do.
dancing up.
Still do.
Um, when
At
Chico
home.
posted hers, I said, "Oh, I should dig up my video and post it."
Mhm.
Don't stop praise dancing. Do it at home, because that's what I do.
Oh
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I tell you one thing. This is something we experienced. Uh, Kirk Franklin was playing with Tamala Mann at the Horseshoe. You know where that is, right, Lynette? The Horseshoe
Hmm.
Casino.
Yeah, I know what a
He
horseshoe
came,
is.
he came in that sucker and said, "I'm gonna turn this casino. I don't care if I'm in casino. I'm gonna turn it into church." Tamla Mann came on and said, "Take me to the king," and the actual floors thundered. We could feel the vibration underneath
Mm.
our feet. It blew our mind
Mm.
because that's a concrete floor. The
Mhm.
floors
Mhm.
thundered, literally thundered. And we were like,
Mm.
okay. So I got more juice from going to see Tamla Mann and Kirk Franklin than I do going into some of these simple churches.
Mhm.
I don't
Mm.
have nothing against Bill Winston, but once I saw him start talking about back to school and us to go on Amazon to send him the backpacks and everything else for him to dole out, knowing that he's got the money, if he's got a plane, he's got to fuel it. So just don't go for a ride. Take some of your money and buy some bags. But he's telling us to go buy the bags and send them to him. No,
Yeah,
I
Mm-mm.
see,
can't do
that's
that.
what I'm talking about. You collect this
Yeah, that's
money
a
every
tax
Sunday.
write-off.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's
Every
using us
Sunday.
our money to do it. That's foul. That's foul to me.
That's sad.
Definitely.
And then you doing it under your Sunday service. Yes, we're trying to have this drive, and we want all you parishioners to go to Amazon and get the books and get paper bags and get whatever you have to get so we can send these kids back to school. Man, shut up. Just send them.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's sad. Cause
I
why is
do.
you
Well,
asking
I
for the
definitely
congregation?
understand how y'all feel and what y'all been through. Um, if y'all find more peace worshiping at home with the Lord, I'm here for it. And like I thank God that Cheapo has a good church. I do. Like I say, church starts in your heart. You don't have to be in the
Mhm.
building. But I'm sleepy, y'all. Are y'all
And you
sleepy?
know what? Here's a suggestion, Mo, before we go.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm
Mhm.
about to get up out of here. Salute to
On
y'all.
your site, we can
Okay.
do
All
great
right, good
things. We
night.
can monetize
All
you, and
right.
you have what you call a quarterly giving. That
Mhm.
you pick some one person that you feel that needs that help, and we're still helping in that way. Does anybody see where I'm coming from with this?
So
We
you
could take
saying you raise money like we raise money for my channel, and then somebody that may be in need, give it to them. I think that's awesome.
That's a good
I
idea.
think
Yep.
that you get your monetization. In other words, if it's 20, whatever they take, and we give money, you have it quarterly. So 4 times a
Mhm.
year, we've taken our money, combined it to become a one whole, and then you just, pick and tell us, okay, we're allocating this. You find a family, somebody that needs that or needs an electrical bill, whatever.
Mhm.
Now, Atmos
That's
loves
a
on
good
businesses.
idea.
You know, I'm saying
But
we can do this. So,
she don't have to go through YouTube. She has her own Cash App. So YouTube don't have
right.
to, take her money. It goes to her Cash App and she get all of that in one.
Right. Or
So
we can PO box it. It's many things we can do. But one thing we're doing is the power of God and paying it forward, just like Chipo said.
yeah.
You got to pay it
Absolutely.
forward.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out here in need. You just gotta know how to choose and, know that they really need it.
Right.
Well,
That's true.
that's another part that Chipo made a point at. She said, once I release it from my hands, I give it to you. Now, what you do with it, if you do wrong with it, that's on you and it's not on me.
That's
So
true.
we won't know.
That's true.
We won't know if we gave it or not. We just know we gave it with good intent. Now, if they turn around and go get booze, that's their problem. It ain't ours.
Right.
True.
I'm just saying, think of how big we could take it. And even that is small by comparison, but it's still a big, heartfelt intent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's
So
a great idea.
Well, Nate, I sent you something.
Okay.
Hmm. Oh.
God bless you all. Again, if you all think of me Christmas Eve and ask God to help heal me because my body is riddled from doing this work. I am
I
bone on
sure
bone
will.
from my neck to my feet. I'm not kidding. My neck
Mm.
is, I'm losing the fluid in my neck. I become a bobblehead, but I still
Oh
get up and I
Lord.
keep
Oh.
going. Yeah, I got
I'm gonna
spinal
definitely
problems.
keep you in prayer.
Yeah, I got spinal problems and stuff, and this is why I can't flow with Tennessee stuff because I'm not gonna have him attacking me when he knows. I mean, when I was supposed to have surgery last Wednesday, he's on my phone blowing it up, and I said, Tennessee,
Hmm.
let me go on and get in here. And then once he gets into his saucy mood, I just don't hang out with people that vibe like that. He knew, and then yet he wants to turn around and call me a whole bunch of names. I'm not having no man berate me. I'm a queen. The queen don't let nobody
Right.
sit in her throne like that with that type of mentality. I don't take it off my husband. What makes him think I'm gonna take it off of him?
Mhm.
I ain't been married 34 years for nothing. My husband and I walk in concert with each other. We hold each
Mhm.
other's hands and hold each other up. I'm just saying that that's not a flavor that's for me. I have nothing against him. I really hope that he finds himself in that and realizes that he can't be stalled in his judgments of people. He's,
Absolutely.
it's kind of like a narcissism. You know what narcissism is? I talk about that too on Quora.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm on Quora.com and we're rising above narcissism. I help people that have problems that have dealt with narcissism in relationships. And
Mhm.
it takes 10, you have to identify 10 things before you can say this is a narc. It's not just because they have an ego. And in that, you got to understand that the musical notes are not always me, 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 me. That's bullshit too.
Mhm.
Have enough of an open heart to consider others. And that's important.
Absolutely. Chloe, I'm
So,
praying for you. We have another person in the chat. Her name is Chloe. She has spinal issues. I'm always keeping her in prayer. I don't know what that's like, but I'm definitely praying for y'all. I heard it's really
if she has
uncomfortable.
uh, spinal issues that are normally attacked are L4, 5, and 6, the lower spine, and it's hard
Mhm.
for her. She's going towards bone disease, but she's not necessarily at that. I go to a chiropractor and I have my back manipulated, and they put me on this thing called the rack. They literally stretch out my body. So there's things that
Mm.
she can do that can help it to soothe it at home for home care. I would suggest her sleeping on a heating pad and put it on low to medium. It depends upon how bad her issues are. That's what it would
L
count.
three seven. I mean L3S1.
Oh, she's higher up. Is she mid range? Is she in the mid back? Ask her if she bent
Mm,
over. Is she bent over like in a half bend?
um, let me see. She should type it in a second. Is it a half band? I'm not really familiar.
Okay.
Let
L
me
three.
see. I see where
Tell her
she
I'm
put
not
L three
familiar
S
with.
one.
Okay, I'm not familiar where L3 S1. I'm seeing her chat. Her name is Chloe G. But
Yes.
go to a spinal. Tell her to go to a spinal doctor. They probably have told. If she knows it's L3S1, then she knows exactly where it's at. But it sounds like L3S1 is higher up because 4, 5, and 6 are lower. So
Okay.
therefore, she um she's got to rest. One part of it is
Mhm.
rest. When she does, if her body doesn't feel like it wants to do it, it's not going to do it. With
Mhm.
that, muscle relaxers sometimes help. It's a guessing game with that. It depends. And then the other thing is that in rain, she's going to feel it. The reason why is because the barometric pressure of the rain is
Mm,
causing the situation to exacerbate itself, bring it to the forefront. So sometimes in rain weather, rain is not her friend because it's not my friend.
oh,
Um,
wait.
but it is barometric pressure. It's the pressure that's coming down that's causing her to hurt. In that case, she might be able to
Mhm.
take an aspirin. She might be able to find something that helps her, or if she can, tell her to stay in because that's what I have to do. And she says, yes, rain is
Okay.
rough on her. I'm watching what she's saying. She's
Mhm.
saying, yeah, she's saying that it's rough on her. But Chloe, you're not alone. I'd have to look up your L what you wrote here, what L3 and S1 is. I don't talk on something I don't know unless I know specifically where you're at. Um,
Mhm.
I can tell you this, and this may help you, Chloe. I bought organic castor oil. Now, we used to know castor oil to drink it for illness. Try that and keep that area lubed so you have fluidity. But when it
Mm.
rains, there's
Okay.
not much you can do. You just can only grin and take it because that's what I'm in too. So I appreciate you having me on the panel. I
Of
appreciate this
course.
conversation. We are going to go with God and know that we have strength in numbers. And all we have to do is just figure it out.
Absolutely. Definitely. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I love each of you and remember to keep pressing forward. We're not gonna look back. We're gonna keep pushing no matter I said, even if we have to take baby steps, long as we moving forward, progressing and not going back, not staying stuck. I love y'all. And like I said, my goal is to always encourage. She said lemon. I what is it? Let me put
What
it
did
up
you
here.
say? Can
Lemon,
she come up in the
Tommy,
stream yard?
scheduled lumbar vertebrae, L3, L4, L5, and S1.
Tell Lynette to come up here and end us in prayer. What she dropped down for? She can do
Oh
this.
no. Come pray,
Lynette says,
Lynette.
yeah, who's ending us in prayer? Michelle, we love you too. Chloe G, you hang in there. You hang in
Yes,
there.
Chloe. You
I'm
know
gonna
I'm
look up.
praying for you. I
She's
really
saying she
am.
has a latectomy scheduled for lumbar vertebrae. Okay, she's
Yeah.
got 3, 4, and 5. That's where I'm hit at. ANS1. So I believe.
Mm.
Let me ask you a question, Chloe, before we go. Is this lemidectomy? Is this scheduling for injections? Are you at injections at this point? I need her to answer.
Let me see.
Are they going to inject your spine?
I'm waiting on her to respond. Yep, you right, cheapo. She said Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. Yep.
Yes, she
No looking
did.
back. Oh we. That's so important. I love you too, Michelle.
Okay, if I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't know when's the next time you're gonna schedule this, but I will research this. But
I
she's
normally do
already,
Sunday, but I'll probably I'ma see, but maybe Monday, I'm thinking.
yeah, she
But
knows
I'll
what
have
this
it
is.
scheduled. Huh?
If she's having this, she's having a lumbar vertebrae, which is her back. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what it means. I don't know what the term, I can look this up what it is real quick and find out. Uh,
Okay. Lynette, you
it
don't
doesn't
have to
take
be shy with us, girl.
right. She can lead the prayer, but what she's having is it sounds like she's having injections, and those are
Oh,
painful.
okay.
She's not, this is just beginning for her because it's in so many
I know
places.
she mentioned surgery a few weeks ago.
Yes,
Soon. So,
yes, I think this is just beginning for her. So we got to keep
mm-hmm.
her and stay in the flow with her to make sure because she's the worst pain she's going to feel is afterwards. And they told me about this. They told me that I would probably have to go through this. So I know
Mm,
where she's at. And living in pain is not easy. It's
right,
just not. It's something. I hate to see people in pain. I hate to see a dog in pain. It's
right.
just not easy.
It's
And
not.
yeah, I think what she's gonna go through is it sounds like best guess, it sounds like she's going through injections, something that's and that's considered a surgery. It's still considered
She
surgery.
said no, I'm in late stages.
She's in
Oh
late stages.
no. Can barely walk at this point.
Ask her, can
Mm.
she come up and explain herself before we go? That would, tell her to come in the stream yard because late
She
stages can
said
mean
no
what?
injections. Do you want to come up, Chloe? I don't think she's really a panel person, but can ask.
Yeah, and tell Chloe this. Just like I put CJ in there, I will put
Mm-hmm.
her in the prayer jar because it's just beginning for her. But
Yeah.
she needs to support the back. She needs a supporter. Now, this she can find on Amazon. She needs the adjustable. It's called an adjustable compression. And the reason
Mm-hmm.
why it's called adjustable, she can use any zipper for comfort control to give her the support. Things are spread out in there. So she needs to try
Mm-hmm.
to get it at least somewhat close back together. That's the 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 best that she can do with it. The comfort she needs to find a comfort level in the pain. She's in what they call, if she's at late stages, she's in what you call grimacing pain. That means she
Mm-hmm.
feels it often, and I
Oh, you
feel for
had neck
her.
surgery.
Huh?
She had surgery on her neck.
Yeah, see, I know what she's going through because I've had it. That's what they telling me. She knows what they measured her synovial fluid and found that was thin, and then they had to go in there, and that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
praying for
worry.
y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the doctor and said, "Are you saying I remember the bobblehead that used to be on your dashboard?" And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I said. Are you saying I'm a bobblehead? And they're like,
Mm.
yeah. And I'm like, I can't hold my neck up. I can't look down at things. I had to readjust my life. And I'm still, and my spine is 40 degrees off, which means it tilts in my body. It tilts. It's
Wow.
not straight. So I know
Mm.
exactly. And I tell her I will put her and pray for her too. But I'm gonna line myself
Definitely.
Christmas Eve. I'm gonna be in prayer. That's
Mm-hmm.
a fact. I'm sorry that I like I said, I do pray for Kenzie, but I can't flow with that. That's not for me, Mo.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I can't flow with no man talking. I especially start talking about underneath my dress and all that other stuff. That's
Yeah, I get it.
It's
When it goes too far, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, and I had to ask myself, why am I listening to this? Well, when I'm up late at night and I'm still working, because I work all hours of the night, I don't have any concept of day or night. It's when I have the energy to do it. I
Mm,
just, it's something to listen to keep you company. You're not really listening into it,
mm-hmm.
but uh, I'm not going to try to do God's work and be told F you at the same time.
Yeah, I understand.
That's not for me.
Absolutely. Right.
Chloe, you take care of yourself and know that I walk this road with you. So I
Mm-hmm.
understand exactly what you're going through. Lynette, come on up here and give us our closing. I thank you for being here. And Lynette really helped drive the point home of what we dealing with in Chicago, because this ain't no joke.
Yeah, I
Northeast, south,
bet.
and west. Okay? And
Come
Chloe,
on, Lynette.
we're gonna walk this together. I'm here with
Mm-hmm.
you and you are there with me. Because I have the same thing and I don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know if I
Right.
wake up, I gotta do something with it, Chloe. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
do something with it. And I gotta prepare my soul to meet my maker. That's a job in itself.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you
Mm-hmm.
truthfully. I love life. I'm scared to die. I got to get my courage up that when it's time, my time has come too, because everything dies
Listen,
off.
you sound like me. Okay. A lot of I ain't baby, please. That's why I'm walking away that I walk humbly and trying to do what God is telling me to do out of obedience. And it's not just like I'm living in fear, it's like I'm living in purpose. I'm learning not to take things for granted. Like I have to get serious about my life. So this is part of my being serious because things change from day to day and we don't know when we'll take our last breath. So I'm very thankful for each moment I get and I try to make the best of it.
And didn't Monique say that we all one step away? But here's the thing, what you just said, that is a driven point there. Purpose. You are purpose fulfilled. When you make your last breath, you are
Mm-hmm.
purpose fulfilled. Now I'm gonna say this. Remember you were talking about Muslims before you go, you were talking about Islamic.
Right.
Remember you talking about that? Okay, over in the Middle East, what do they believe in? They believe in decapitation. That if they
Right.
cut off my head, they cut off my head can't follow my soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's not true. Because if my last thought is before you cut off my head, God let my head, if I affirm God let my head follow my soul and I am with thee, the moment you slice my head, I had a thought before you did it.
Right.
How you gonna say that my soul can't follow my head just because you decapitated it?
I'm telling you.
Their practices now. Did you
Mm-hmm.
notice recently their practices is that the women have to wear this. They're not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to have a complete thought. They have turned their women into chattel,
Mm.
something to be used. Did you see that recently?
Wow.
That was on 2 days before the news. They're not allowed to go to school now.
That is so sad.
It's the
Oh, wait.
devaluation of a woman.
Mm-hmm. Lynette, you done got quiet since we asked you to pray. Come on, my sister.
Yes, Chloe, you're
Chloe
right.
said
You
the
are
body
living
is
in
separate from
purpose.
the soul.
The body is separate from the soul until you have a single thought that you put your body back together before they cut your head off. Who said so? If God created you, many people's heads been chopped off. Did they not go to heaven? That's not true.
Mm.
I just refuse to believe that
Yep.
anybody can inherit the kingdom of heaven. And I look at one paramount thought. If Jesus forgave a murderer on the cross, why not me?
Right. That's true.
Why not me? So the thing
You're
is the
welcome,
person that's
T-Bone.
slicing my head off better hope he gets salvation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I
El
guess Lynette is not. She said she kind of shy still. Um. But again, I thank y'all so much. If I don't go back live Sunday night, I don't know because it's Christmas. I know a lot of people will be busy. I'm
Okay,
just gonna.
I'll leave the prayer in the closing because I know you said you wanted to go to sleep. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Uh,
that's fine. I love
okay.
y'all, and I'm always keeping y'all in prayer. Chloe, you already know. I'm praying that
I,
everybody stay strong in their faith.
I will say this: it's no accident because I made it a point, and I remember when we were on Kennessy's, you told me you would be on Thursday, so I made it a
Hmm.
point to follow it. So it's no accident that I did follow that because there's, like I said, there's many other channels, and I had just gotten off two other channels. So this is not an accident. We are all being driven by God to do the right thing, to make our life have purpose.
Absolutely.
Again, I'll say this: we're not going to end up on CNN or MSNBC. Who cares? All we have to
Hmm.
do is know that we made it count. So, in
Right?
closing, I will say this. Dear Lord, I'm asking you today that first of all, that we're going to lift Chloe up because she has a challenge that she has to live through. And I want you to please ease her pain, heal
Yes,
her,
God.
and let her wake up with a stronger, um, strength to help her get
Hmm.
through this because we all know that this is not easy. We thank you today, Lord, for giving us Mo, for us to have a platform to sort out some of our concerns and our own spiritualities that
Hmm.
we need you to guide us to the higher ground so we can stay in the upper house. We accept the fact that you are the creator and the maker of all things. You're omnipotent. You are the Alpha, the Omega, and the One. We look to you and we look up to you. We know this in our daily prayer and ask you to continue to guide us in this. For all of those
Yes.
in the chat, we ask you to continue to blanket all of us that believe, that are following the faith and following your word, not our word. Work through us, Lord, and give us the right path for us to find it the right way. And this we ask in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. And so it is.
And so it is. I stand in agreement. I love y'all so much. Lynette, I understand. She said she can type a prayer but not speak out loud, knowing people watching. Baby steps, boo. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. And y'all are well. God got y'all in his service. Chloe G, anybody that's going through anything. Michelle, the passing of your brother, I think, or best friend, I forgot. But God has y'all, and I'm believing by faith. We're going to all continue to move forward, keep pressing on. We're not going to give up. And I pray y'all have a very blessed night. Thank y'all so much.
I've got to say one more thing. We ask
Hmm.
God on Christmas Eve that you hold us all together, united as one front in prayer. And we ask that you hold us together and let us continue to do your word, your will. We are not of ourselves. We know that you are helping us. Amen.
Yes, amen. That's a word. Thank y'all again so much. I'll see y'all, if not Sunday night, Monday, okay? And I pray y'all have a very blessed holiday. I pray that everybody's spirits is lifted. All right. Good night, y'all. Merry Christmas, Chloe. Be encouraged. Love you, Lynette, Cheapo, Cena. Who else was in here? Michelle, Sis. I'll see you, sister.
El Cheapo, all of you.
Cap, Will, everybody. Tickle. I'll try not to leave nobody out. I think Minnie was in here, Cena. Everybody, I love y'all so much. All right, good night.
Good night.
All right, bye bye.